Hello everybody, welcome to another live stream. I hope everybody is doing well, hope everybody's having a great day. Welcome. We are starting way earlier than usual. Sorry, I'm just making sure I'm in focus. We're starting way earlier than usual. Normally I start an hour later from now, but long story short, I had a really long day yesterday, and because of that, I ended up having almost no sleep. I ended up going to bed. Can you hear me okay? Yeah, it seems like you can. I ended up going to bed something at like 5 in the morning, and then I had to be up at 8 to go get my hair done. And obviously I've got a bit of a different hairdo. It's similar, but it is different. We'll talk about that in a bit. But anyways, I was running on like 3 hours of sleep, had to go to Toronto, spent the morning there pretty much until about 2 o'clock when I got home. Then I was with Nora all afternoon. Then when Alana got up, I went to bed for like 2 hours. So in total, I had slept maybe 5 hours split up throughout the day. I felt like trash. And so I forgot to take my ADHD medications, my heart medications, everything. So I was feeling like I got hit by a train. I had actually planned to stream last night because I want to add an extra stream into the schedule just because I'm not streaming enough and I want to stream more. And so that was the plan, but because I was just feeling like trash, so I didn't. And then I ended up going to bed at like 1 in the morning, which I'm a night shift worker, so that's really early. I usually go to bed closer to like 4:30, almost 5 o'clock in the morning sometimes. I went to bed at 1:30 last night. Like I was asleep at 1:30. So I woke up today at like 9:30, almost 10 o'clock. It was really early, and I figured I could go live for an extra hour. That gives us 3 hours to be live instead of just 2, and sometimes even less because, you know, I talk and sometimes there's issues. So I went live extra early today, and we'll see how that goes. This isn't going to be a regular thing because it's impossible for me to get up this early, like tomorrow. Actually, tomorrow I might be able to get up this early. Tomorrow, what day is it tomorrow? Tomorrow's Friday, right? Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how tomorrow goes. It depends on how late I go to bed tonight. But yeah, that's kind of where we're sitting. That is why I'm live so early. I'm not used to being live this early. There's something weird about my stream on TikTok, and I don't know why it looks the way it does, because over here it looks fine. But in the stream preview... Like in the stream preview it looks fine, but on my tablet it looks really bad. Maybe it looks fine on my phone, I don't know. Anyways, but that's kind of what's sitting and happening. My plan is to play some Elden Ring today. We've been doing a lot of like random stuff lately, and I figured we could do some Elden Ring, go back to kind of the regular stuff. Sorry, I'm just trying to get into my account on my phone to see how it looks on my phone. Anyways, we've been playing a lot of like random stuff, just mainly because Deep Silver has released a bunch. No, on my phone it looks fine. I guess it's just my tablet. Deep Silver's released a bunch of stuff. It's made things kind of hard for me to keep my regular schedule with. But we're gonna go back to Elden Ring, and then I'm on the fence on whether or not I want to go back to Dead Space. Like I said, I want to add an extra stream. My plan, as it stands right now, is to try to add an extra stream, maybe like Wednesday evening, so that way I don't have to get up and do anything. And that'll at least give me an extra night to be able to stream, and then I can do something like a horror stream. I don't know yet. I haven't fully decided because I am enjoying having Wednesday to kind of just do what I want when I want and play whatever games I want rather than having to stream and like make sure everything's working. You know, because usually Wednesdays is the only time I get to play VR games, and trying to get VR games on stream is a bit of a nightmare. So I haven't fully decided yet. Maybe I'll do the VR stuff on stream. I don't know. We'll see. But that's kind of how things are standing right now. Like I said, I'm not usually live at this time, so a lot of my regulars probably aren't even aware that I'm live right now. It would help if I had like a Discord. I just hate Discord. Not the company, I don't like having to be in charge of one. I think Discord is great. I'm just really bad at it. Just like Twitter. But yeah, we'll just get started with some Elden Ring and we'll do what we have to do. I apologize for kind of the messiness. We had some audio issues last stream, so I'm hoping that we're not going to have them today and that things will be okay. I'm going to test it to see. It should be fine. I don't know what happened last time. I was getting a double sound. Basically, I was streaming, and for some reason the gameplay was doubling the sound. Everything else was fine, but the gameplay was doubling, and I don't know why. So hopefully that's okay now. I think it might have been just a Go XLR glitch, because on Monday's stream I didn't have that issue, but I had it on Friday's stream last week, so hopefully we don't. Weewin, hello, nice to see you. Welcome. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. The other thing is I've got new hair. I got to give it a couple of days to see once it settles. For those who don't know, I wear a hair system, a wig, and when they're brand new, they're pretty poofy for the first little while because they're hand sewn. And so the hair kind of like, it's long, so it flops over, but it sticks straight out until a few washes and until I comb it over and over again for it to kind of get its shape that I want. So it's a little bit poofier than I like. It's definitely longer than I've had it before. And I had talked to the hairstylist. We decided to try this. I'm on the fence on whether I like it or not. This camera angle works because it's looking at this side, but on this side, like it shows a lot of forehead, which is fine. Obviously, I had a lot of forehead. I was like a 6 head, you know, bald and all that. But with a hair system, the hairline is the main concern because natural hairlines have like gaps and little like weird waves and stuff. Like they're not perfectly straight, and in a hair system they're perfectly straight, so it makes it way more obvious that I'm wearing a hair system. So I'm on the fence on whether I like it or not. I readjusted it this morning to see if that would help, because before it was like half an inch back. I've now pulled it forward some more, and I'm liking it a bit more. It's still a little bit too clean for my liking, but I'm not courageous enough yet to start plucking hairs to try to make it look more real. I'm worried that I would ruin it, so I'm not going to touch it for now. But I don't know. It's okay. Like, it's gone. I'll take my headphones off. It's really short on the sides, as you can tell, but then like the top is really long to kind of give me that swooped over kind of messy fringe. So I don't know. Night Owl, how's it going, man? How are things? Man, that video, the one that I just commented on about the batch content, yeah, I feel you on that one. Because I'm not, you know, completely professional, my settings for my lights are usually pretty much the same, but sometimes I forget to change the settings on my camera, because the settings I use before I was using 2 cameras, and I would have to like take one camera off of my tripod setup here and set it up for me to record my TikToks. But what was happening was I wouldn't set the camera up properly, and so I would end up with like a 4K video at 60 instead of at 30 instead of at 24. Or I'd leave it at 1080p at 60, and so like it limited what I could do. But one of the other problems was like the exposure was always wrong, and so I couldn't have like just a universal color correction that I could just drag on. So when I would do batch videos, I would have to color correct one manually and then copy it to the rest of the videos, which was fine. I mean, I've gotten into a routine now where my color correction takes maybe 20 minutes. Maybe less, I don't know, depending on how bad my settings were. But it's annoying, right? Because I always get the settings wrong. So I've reduced down to 1 camera again, just to save myself the headache, and I've got the other camera set up just for recording, so that way I can just record and I know my settings are set. But yeah, the editing process can be such a nightmare. I've been sick for the last week, and I've been feeling okay for the last couple of days. Today I feel like trash, but it's because I forgot my ADHD meds, and when I miss one day, the next day is just a write-off for me. But I need to start recording again. But that dreaded having to like actually record and then having to edit the videos down, I'm dreading having to do that. And especially because there are no tutorials about Final Cut Pro online that are addressing what I need. Almost every video that I see that are directed towards like short form content are all about Premiere or DaVinci, but I see almost nothing about Final Cut. So everything I've learned, I've kind of just tried to translate it from those other programs. But I think we talked about this before, but the big problem I'm having is the keyframe zooming in and out and stuff. It's just so messy on Final Cut that trying to get things to work can sometimes be a nightmare. Like even just the simple like zoom in while I'm talking, sometimes I have to like manually go and add a bunch of keyframes just to make sure the camera stays centered, because if I just use the same key points for the zoom in and for the centering position, sometimes the centering position will go slower than the zoom, so all of a sudden I get a big black bar above me. It's a nightmare. All that is making me just want to like not set up my camera and record. Like I just really don't want to. Plus, coming up with ideas right now, I'm just in a big mental block. I'm just burnt out. That's what it is. It's not even content burnout. It's just my life is so stressful that I'm burnt out. So like sitting down and trying to like, come up with content is tough. and it's really demotivational when I'm starting to see a whole bunch of new creators doing the same content that I'm doing again, which like it's fine, but there's a couple of content creators that I follow that were mutuals that are literally just recovering my videos, which my videos are like older content, like they're stuff that's been around for a while, but like they're literally only covering the videos that I've done. They haven't done anything new. So it almost feels like they're watching my videos and then just rehashing what I'm saying. So it's like, it's demotivational for me in the sense of like, I have to try to stay ahead of the curve and like come up with new content to say, because even if I redo my videos, I already did it for one where I got accused of stealing somebody else's video, but mine is like a year older than theirs is. My original is like a year older than theirs is. And so it's just that frustration of like, oh my God, now I'm being accused of stealing when they're doing what I did a year ago. Moa, hello, nice to see you. Welcome. Oh my God, yeah. I'm actually playing with the idea. You know how I used to do, what's up, bros? That guy. But he would do like bad advice. I'm playing with the idea of not necessarily doing bad advice, but like doing parodies of the advice that these gurus are giving. In the sense of like, there's this guy that I watch right now who's been blowing up. He started blowing up when the American thing happened with the TikTok creator, and they were questioning him and asking like really stupid questions like, does TikTok access my Wi-Fi? That time in history. He started doing videos about that, but making fun of it, where he would go like over the top, like, when I open TikTok, is my battery being used? Do you use my battery when I use TikTok? And he started blowing up. Now he's doing ones where he's talking about podcasts and how like they try to be super deep and they're like all factually wrong with what they say. So like one he did where he's like, okay, hold on, I gotta turn off the music for this one. Okay, no music. Okay. Let me blow your mind. Let me blow your mind. Now, follow me on this. Now, Chris is leaving because we've been arguing about this all day. Okay, so dinosaurs, we find them underground, right? But to be underground, they have to be buried. But if you think about it, now think about this. Just follow me with this. Follow me with this. You could look this up. So if you think about it, you find dead elephant bones on top of the ground. So how did the dinosaur bones get underground? So there had to have been bigger animals that buried the dinosaurs. Think about it. I know. You can look this up. So dinosaurs were like the pets of bigger animals that we haven't found yet. Sit with that for a minute. So he does stuff like that, where it's like over the top. That was not my idea. Anybody who's popping in, that wasn't me making that up. That was another creator that made it. He is friggin' hilarious. I am parroting his joke. Anyways, I've been on the fence about doing something similar with like these gurus, and like giving advice that gurus give. There's one in particular that I never followed him because a lot of his advice was topical advice that I had covered, so there was no use for me following him. But it seemed harmless, just typical, make sure you set a schedule, crap like that. But then I found out that he is now using TikTok to funnel people into like a payment program where he will give them one-on-one custom advice. But he doesn't even have 5,000 followers on Twitch. And like he averages like 10 viewers, which I know I'm averaging way less, but like he's not like an ultra successful creator to be giving advice at a fee, especially when his advice is all like stuff that's available for free. So it's pretty slimy. And when he got called out on it, he just used the excuse of, well, I don't want to be famous, which is like the cop out of every guru that's trying to steal money from people. So like I want to do something like that, like do parodies of these people being serious and trying to give you advice, and then it's the most topical, basic advice possible. I just haven't figured out how to do it because up until now, there haven't really been Twitch gurus on podcasts giving this advice. It's all private behind paywalls. But I also am afraid that people who are giving free advice on TikTok are going to think it's directed towards them. So I'm still working out the logistics of how to make it obvious that it's about these slimy ones that are charging you money and not the ones trying to help people for free, even though their advice is just as topical as everybody else's. To play with that kind of idea. You think I know? Yeah, it's It's just slimy when you're charging money. If he was doing something like he was gonna take charge of your channel in the sense of like he's going to edit your videos, or he's going to review your videos and give you advice on how to fix them, or he's going to, you know, help you by running a Twitch channel, Twitter, or running like a Discord, that would be something that I would say, okay, that's worth paying some money for. But if he's just gonna give you free advice that is available on all over TikTok and YouTube, that he's gotten for free from other people, and he's just going to charge you for it, that's just slimy to me. That's just really slimy to me. You know, like I used to do the channel reviews and I did them for free, and a lot of my advice was really, really basic, and I still feel it this way, but a lot of it I felt was sometimes you just need somebody else to kind of point it out to you because you might not see it, even though it's really basic and obvious, right? But when you're new to content creation, it's a little bit harder to kind of criticize your own work. And so like it's sometimes helpful to just have that extra eye come in and be like, hey, this is what's going on with your channel. But charging money for it, I just find is really slimy. I just find it's really, really slimy. Mind blown. Till I find the answer. Yeah, we win. You guys should look this guy up. He is friggin' like, he's hysterical. He's a Canadian voice actor, actually. And he apparently did a bunch of shows. Like he was the lead voice in the TV show version of Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. And he's really funny. He pops up on my For You page all the time. I'm gonna swipe a little bit just see if he pops up randomly. But he does these like parody podcast things, and the best part is one of my ex-girlfriends popped up on my Instagram thing, and she was having one of those moments. Yeah, he's not popping up. Man, he pops up all the time. Now he's not popping up. Damn it. Let me see if I can just search him real quick. Here he is. If you look up some guy Mark, like the three words but put together, some guy Mark, he's just this guy talking on a podcast, and he just comes up with like the most ridiculous ideas, and they're friggin' hilarious because they're so perfect. Hello Merle, nice to see you. Yeah, Night Owl. Yeah, that's exactly. I'm pretty sure we're talking about the same person. Yeah, it's all very stream centric, and like that content advice doesn't work anymore because streaming isn't just about streaming anymore. It's about everything else, right? Like for me right now, I've got 4 people watching me on Twitch, YouTube combined. Hello Roman, nice to see you. I've got 3 on TikTok. I haven't posted any good videos in a while. You know, I've done 2 videos in the last like 2 weeks. Both of them have not performed well at all. They've been handheld on my phone, not great videos. And, you know, I'm not getting viewed anywhere because I'm not making content. Mind you, when I make a video where I have, you know, 10,000 plus views on, all of a sudden my TikTok is up to like 10 or 15 people watching me because the algorithm's pushing it. Like you have to create content now. It's not just about making streams look good or perform well. It's everything else now. And now it's turning into the same thing that a lot of social media has turned into, where the guru is going to help you grow and show you how rich they are. Now on streams, it's about your concurrent viewers, but on other places, it's about how rich you can be. And the way they got rich is by running these scam lessons that they're charging you money for. So it's kind of the same with the stream gurus, is that the only reason they're growing is because they have other streamers trying to learn from them. But they're not actually doing anything that makes them a good streamer. It's just they've done something that a lot of streamers are interested in learning from, but they're not real supporters. These streamers aren't watching them because they like their content. They're watching them because they're hoping that they will get their moment to like, oh, that's what's going to make me famous. And so like content about streaming isn't going to help your stream anymore. You have to learn how to make content outside of streaming. Which is getting harder and harder to do because the bar is being set so high. You know what I mean? Merle, I am doing really well. I'm not feeling great right now, but it's I came off my ADHD meds yesterday. I forgot to take them, and now I'm back on them, and I feel really dizzy right now. Not that the room is spinning. I feel like, have you ever held your breath for a while and then you pull up and you feel kind of lightheaded from how much you held your breath? That's what I feel like right now. That's where I'm sitting. Cool, Blazy. You clearly don't know anything about how video games work. Thanks for letting the class know. Yeah. Yeah, Night Owl. And like there are people who have grown their channels and are giving advice, and it's after they've already had their growth. Do you know what I mean? But even then, there's also the ones like Ninja who are giving the same basic advice and using their grown channel as their like proof of concept, but their grown channel doesn't really reflect their advice because, like Ninja, who gave a lot of really like topical free advice that he was charging money for, he only grew because of his timing of when he started streaming and what he was streaming. He didn't actually grow because he did anything magical. It was just his timing was immaculate. And I've said it so many times, if he were to start streaming right now from scratch without being who he is now, he would not have the success he has had. Because his whole niche is so oversaturated. Just he was there early enough. And there's a lot of streamers that way that started early enough that's what grew them. It's not that they actually did anything special. People who are growing now in the more deeply filled niches are doing something different. Like that Nadia person. I don't know how well they're doing now, but they were all over my For You page for a while because they really played up the I'm a great streamer, playing the sexist thing, which there's truth to it. So it automatically already is a divisive conversation to have. But then she played it up to the nth degree, making it obviously to a fake level of rage farming. And then played up the I'm cheating factor. Now, whether she was cheating or not didn't really matter because the conversation was keeping her name in our mouths. That was actually a creative way to start growing her channel in an oversaturated niche. Now, mind you, she is probably dealing with a lot of hate that most people wouldn't be able to deal with. I know I couldn't. So it's not advice that would help anybody. But it was something that she did that was different than everybody else. So you have to give her props on that. Am I a fan of what she did? No. I thought that she was toxic and just not... I was not a fan of what she was doing. But it worked. Right? Somebody like Ninja just got lucky playing a game that was starting to grow in popularity, and he just happened to be really good at it and toxic enough that people liked what he was doing. And then he sold out, and look what happened. He destroyed his fame that he had. He almost destroyed it himself. I mean, everybody, as far as content creation goes, there is no perpetual famous person. Eventually, your channel kind of flattens out, and somebody will surpass you. You have to be okay with that. But I think Ninja shot his own channel in the foot, so it made it flatten out a lot more than it should have. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, the most 100 top streamers, that's exactly what it is. But it is what it is. Oh, man. Thank you for the follow, Chris. I appreciate that. Chazah, hello. What's my favorite game right now? I'd have to say Silent Hill on the PS1. As far as current game that I am playing, I'm torn between Elden Ring and Dead Island. I'll literally say that's my favorite game. But when I finally figure out what I'm doing for a while, I'm completely absorbed. Dead Island is one of my favorites right now, but I also know it doesn't have like a super deep story. It's still kind of buggy, and it's not, rich. Am I live again? Internet started working again on my ears, so am I live again? I think I'm live again. I don't even know anymore. Oh, I don't have money for this crap. Man. Am I live? I don't even know. It looks like I'm live on my phone. Yeah, I'm live on my phone. My computer's still kind of messing up. Okay, so I am back. Okay, so my computer. There we go. Now it's up on my screen. So I apologize. Damn it. So I'm not. I hate every time I have to talk about this because I feel like one of those streamers that's like, I need money, guys. My router, I think, is dead. I think my router is dead. My internet router. Basically, I've had my router plugged into a power bar, but the power bar is really loose, and so it'll randomly disconnect and connect, and I think it has finally messed with my router. My router is randomly disconnecting for no reason. And it's really frustrating because it's happening like once every half an hour at this point. It was happening for like the last couple of days where like once a day it would kind of disconnect. I would just unplug it, plug it back in, and we're good to go. But now it's happening like every half an hour, and it's incredibly frustrating, especially because I use my phone to watch a lot of videos, and I won't know that it's disconnected. It'll just like disconnect from Wi-Fi because the Wi-Fi signal is gone, and it'll just go over to my regular phone signal, and I'm just using my data up while I'm sitting at home watching YouTube or Netflix or whatever. So I'm having a lot of issues with my internet, so I apologize. I didn't mean to disconnect. It's just my router. And the thing is that it seems like my internet is fine. It's just the router that the problem is coming from. So we'll see what happens. If it disconnects again, I'll just plug in my computer directly into my router, into my modem instead of my router, and at least I'll get through the rest of the stream. But it's really, really frustrating that this is happening right now. Oh, it even crashed my restream because it disconnected. Hold on, I gotta restart my restream because I can't see my chat. Can't see my chat. And all of a sudden I was gone, and you were so panicked you lost your appetite. I understand, Merle. The power, yeah, no, it's not even the power supply. It's like the full router. It's the full router that's messed up right now, because I have like a little light that shows like when there's an internet signal, and it'll just go red all of a sudden saying that there is no internet signal. But all I have to do is unplug it and plug it back in, and then the internet signal suddenly fine. So it's not even my internet signal, it's just the modem itself, or the router. But I spent like $200 on this damn router, and it's only like a year and a half old. I'm gonna have to buy another one. The reason I bought this one is because of the streaming. The problem I was running into was I would absorb all the bandwidth, and anybody else using the internet, it wouldn't be able to do anything because there wasn't enough speed being able to be shared with all the computers. But I'm gonna have to buy another one if this is happening. I don't know what's going on. Oh, yeah, you're right. Our plugs are different. I don't even have access to one right now. Yeah, our plugs are different. They do sell like conversion kits or whatever, but yeah, no, they're totally different. But yeah, so I'm gonna have to do that. I don't have money for it, damn it. I mean, I have some money, but I was trying to save up. Oh well, there's nothing I can do. That's just the way things are, I guess. At least we're live again. Okay, so I guess we're gonna get started on some Elden Ring. I'm hoping the TikTok stream is still going. I can't even tell. I can't even tell. Okay, it shows that I'm live on the internet, and I don't know. I guess I'm fine. Is it really, Night Owl? I had no idea. I didn't even know it was different within the EU itself. That's crazy. Oh, we went. I'm on the fence about that game. I want to buy it. I'm not even on the fence on whether I want it or not. I want the game. Like 100% I want the game. But, well, now more than ever, I'm not going to be able to. I need to buy that router. But, I was kind of holding off because it's so expensive in Canada. It's like $98 in Canada. And I can't bring myself to spend that money right now. But I really want it. I really, really want it. Okay, why can't I see my chat on TikTok? It's really weird. Okay, let's turn off TikTok and turn it back on. I just want to make sure I'm not missing the chat on TikTok. Okay. There we go. Okay. Chazat, I don't know if you're still here or not, but my favorite game, my three favorite games right now, I don't know when it disconnected in the middle of that conversation at some point. My three favorite games are Divinity Original Sin 2, Dead Island 2, and Elden Ring right now. As far as like what I'm currently playing, and I'm loving them right now. Oh, I've seen those. I've seen the round ones. Yeah. That's so weird, yeah. See, and ours are flat ones. Hold on, I just saw one in the corner here. ours are like this. Now, I know these are like, because American content is so like prevalent around the world, I'm sure you guys have seen this. Ours are like that. Now, we have a third prong for the ground or whatever on certain plugs. But everything that I've read online about the differences between like European style plugs and our style plugs, ours are actually far more dangerous than European ones are. Something about like European ones, they when you plug it in, there's a certain like point that you like go in a bit deeper for the power to actually come through, and it won't come through before you reach that certain level, whereas ours, like, they're live. So even if this is in and partially sticking out and you get a little piece of metal showing, the power is live through them. And so like house fires and stuff are a lot more prevalent here because of the way that they're built. Yeah, see, and we don't have any of that stuff. We have not a fuse, but like a safety switch in the bathroom ones, or anything by a sink. But all the other ones don't have that. I also heard that I think it's the UK. I don't know if it's all of the EU. That you guys have like light switches that will power on your power plugs or not. Here, some places have those, but it's very rare. It's not very often that you have light switches that control power plugs. But yeah, our power plugs are a lot more dangerous than the ones out in the EU are. You can't put them in the bathroom, see, and we can, but they have like a little safety thing. So like if they get wet, they pop out. It's almost like a fuse, and it'll pop out, and then you just pop it back in when you're ready to get started again, which is the safety feature. But I would think they would want to have that everywhere, because that's how my dad wrecked one of his stereos. He was, we bought a triplex when I was a kid, and at first my aunt lived upstairs and we lived downstairs, and we converted the two downstairs apartments into one house basically. Then when my aunt moved away, we converted the whole place to just one giant house, and my dad was building a staircase to connect the upstairs and the downstairs, and while he was doing that, he was using a drill or something, I can't remember, and the plug was slightly out, and he almost fell and he knocked over one of his speakers. My dad used to love having like really big speakers in the house, and when he knocked over one of the speakers, it came unplugged from the back, and one of the cables fell on the power plug, and it fried the sound system. And we were really, really, really poor growing up, and so like the sound system was my dad's like crowning glory. And it got destroyed because of the power. You would think that they would have some kind of fuse thing that turn off power, because here it's very, very prevalent that little kids shove forks inside of, sockets and get shocked. So you would think they would have something to be able to protect against that kind of issue happening. Oh my god, that's crazy, Brian. Yeah, our power systems are they're pretty dangerous. Like, I don't think people realize how dangerous our, electricity system is here. It was far more dangerous in the past, but like it's still pretty dangerous. Cake Powers, how you doing? Welcome. Yeah, ours is next to our sink, our bathroom sink. I don't have anything next to the bath, but I did at the place I used to live at. They didn't even have the safety ones next to the sink. It was that place was dangerous though. That place was insanely dangerous. But yeah, so warning for everybody, if I randomly disconnect, my router is acting up. It is randomly unplugging over and over again, and I don't know why. Not even unplugging, it's just telling me there's no internet signal for no reason. So I need to buy a new router, but we're going to try to forge ahead. If it disconnects, just stick around. I'll just reset the router, and we should be fine within a few seconds. As the music stops and freaks me out. I hope it's just stopping as like, are you still there? Yeah, are you still there? Okay, well, I'm still here, but we're gonna start the game. We're gonna start the game. Let's get to it. Steam. Yeah, I think ours are 120. So yeah, your current is a lot higher. I don't remember for sure. I just remember I was like on a big kick about like the Victorian era and stuff, and they were talking about how electricity kind of evolved after a bunch of house fires and how dangerous things were. And then through that, I kind of went down the wormhole, and then I landed on why they are different, like the plugs. And then somebody was talking about how the stuff in Europe is safer, but the power current is a lot higher. So it's technically more dangerous, but the safety protocols are a lot higher, so it's safer. Whereas here, the current is a lot lower, but the safety protocols are a lot lower as well, so it's technically more dangerous. Because yeah, ours is like 120, and then is it 230? I don't know. It's 120 for pretty much all the sockets, and then there's a higher current for things like a dryer, like an electric dryer, because here electric dryers are very, very common, or the stoves. But then everything else is a lower current. And then the stoves ones look like European, like what you were mentioning, Night Owl. They're like circular, and they've got flat prongs, but they're like angled. And then there's one thick one at the bottom, but they're big. Like they're like even bigger than my mouse. They're huge wall jacks that go in. Downside being, if you ever want to move your stove or your dryer, you're out of luck. You got to move everything, and you got to do rewiring for it, which can be a nightmare if you're living in a place where you want to move stuff around for sure. Yeah, because we have electric kettles now. They're pretty common now. But yeah, for a long time, it was just use a stove. I guess because of the power, yeah. Hello, Justin. I'm doing well. I'm feeling so I've been sick for the last week. I still got a cough. That's why you're gonna hear me eating candy and stuff. I've still got a cough, and it's not fun. It's to the point where like I'm past most of the phlegm. I'm still a little bit phlegmy, but not bad. But my lungs are still kind of, that itchy feeling that makes you want to cough. The problem is that it's down past where the relief is when I cough. Because usually when I cough, like I can feel the relief from about here and up, but the itch is down here. So I'm constantly coughing because I feel something in my lungs. But one, I'm not coughing anything up. And two, the cough doesn't make me feel any better. So I end up coughing to the point where like I almost make myself sick from how much I'm coughing. But I need the satisfaction because that itch is driving me nuts. That being said, I'm definitely feeling a lot better, but I forgot to take my ADHD meds yesterday. And the way my body reacts is if I miss it one day, the day that I go back on it, they kick my ass. And that's where I am right now. So I feel really lightheaded, which really sucks. And it makes me feel almost sick. And so even though I am feeling better, I'm still feeling sick, but it's not because I'm sick. So it's a really frustrating feeling that I'm in right now, which really sucks to say the least. Why don't I have audio? Okay, you can hear it. I can't though. Why can't I hear the game? That's really weird. I can't hear the game. Hold on. Give me a second here. If I do it that way, I have sound. Why don't I have sound through here? I have an issue. I have no game sound. No, we win. I've been really stuffed up, and the halls that I'm eating, they're like a menthol honey halls, and so it's almost like I don't know if do you guys have Vicks Vapor Rub out there? I know it's come out a lot recently that Vicks isn't really safe. It's actually kind of dangerous. But it's like a menthol flavor, and so like the mint. Yeah, okay. So the Vicks, it's like Vicks, that like menthol, eucalyptus style like coldness. That kind of flavor is in this, so it's helping keep my nose opened up. Preston, how you doing, man? How are you? How are things? Yeah, I'm not getting sound in my ears though, so let me just try to see really, really quickly why I'm not getting sound in my ears. Okay, so that's there. Hold on. Maybe it's this one. Thanks, Justin. Yeah, I'm definitely feeling a lot better. The cough is when I'm eating these things, and when I'm eating the ones that Weeman sent me. Weeman sent me these candies. What did you call them? What are they called? They're called Pickers. And it's like the strangest candy. It's like this creamy, wonderful candy. And I've been eating those, and they really help. But right now, just because I'm feeling kind of I wanted something way stronger so I wouldn't feel like, all phlegmy and gross. Yeah, I alt-tabbed out of the window on my gaming PC. I'm trying to figure out why I'm not getting sound. Okay, so speakers are there, right? This goes out through the speakers. And then the line in But why am I not getting... Yeah. Maybe it's that? Yeah, you have sound, I don't. That's really, really weird. Like, I can... So I get this, like, slight buzzing in my ears. For those who don't know sound, there's obviously different types of jacks, right? And, like, this is one of them, like the 3.5 millimeter, I think is what it's called. And the problem with these jacks is they allow a lot of interference from electronics and stuff. So you can hear, like, slight buzzing. The problem... is that depending on how like full of electronics your room is, you'll get more and more of that sound. And so I have that in my ears. I can hear the buzzing, so I know I have a signal, but for some reason I'm not getting the signal going from my computer to that. And I don't know why. If I switch, I just want to switch this for a second and see what happens if I do this. Okay. And you can't hear that. I can. Okay. So if I can hear that... Sorry, I'm like not being entertaining right now. Sometimes when you try to get super convoluted with your sounds, you really make a mess for yourself. And that's kind of what's happened for me. Basically, a quick breakdown as to what I've done with my sound. This is why it's been a mess. Let me turn on the music. At least you have something to listen to. Right? Yeah, you have some music at least. Even that's not playing in my ears now, and it was. And now everything's not working in my ears. What's going on now? Oh, what the heck, man? Oh, wait. I think I know. Okay. I don't know, whatever. Basically, one of the issues that I'm having is I use Jumpscares on my channel, right? And no, Justin, it's not my sound card. So basically, Jeff, how you doing, man? Long time no chat. How are things? How's life? How have things been going for you? I hope life is going okay. So basically, no, I've never bought them because the ones I've seen are pretty expensive, and my cheap ass is like, yeah, it's okay, I don't need them. So basically, this is why it's complicated. So I use Jumpscares on my channel. People, for those who don't know what those are, somebody can donate $6.66. It sets off a really loud scream in my ears, and it scares me. I scream, everybody laughs, I die a little inside. It's cool. But the problem is that I also was in a live band for years and years, and so I have a lot of ear damage. And so I have tinnitus, which is like a constant ringing in my ears 24 hours a day. I've been woken up by my tinnitus. It gets so bad sometimes. So one of the things I'm trying to do to kind of preserve my hearing, because I am getting up there in age, is to turn down my volume a little bit in my headphones. The Go XLR that I use has a feature that I can turn down my headphones and it won't affect the audio you guys hear. Problem is that it also turns down my jump scares, and at a certain level the jump scares are no longer scary, they just come in as a background noise. So I've tried to get routing so I can have the alerts stay at one volume and the everything else stay at a different volume in my ears while still being a totally separate volume for everybody else. Now that could be done with a Go XLR fairly easily. The other problem I run into is I use a capture card. I don't play off of my PC. I have a second PC and I do console gaming. So my capture card needs to be run as a monitor and on OBS. And so that can allow me to have one volume for the monitor and one volume for everything else. But if I use the monitor and that's what I use for my alerts, because you have to have your monitor on for the alerts, the gameplay volume and the alerts volume are the same level. So I'm still stuck in the same point where the game is too loud and the alerts are too loud, and if I turn it down, the alerts and the gameplay get too quiet. So I have to be able to separate those and still have them have separate volumes for you and for me. It's a nightmare. So basically what I've had to do, I'm not going to get into too much detail, but I've had to use Voice Meter Banana to send the volume, all the audio from my streaming PC to my gaming PC. Then all the volume from my gaming PC, including the streaming PC, back to the Go XLR, so I can control it. And through all this convoluted stuff, I can have 2 separate sets of volumes, well, technically 3 sets of volumes, one for the capture card, one for my alerts, and then one for everything. And that's why I have it set up the way that I do. But it's a complete nightmare to try to get it to work. And so on Friday, I had the issue that everybody had sound, but it was doubled. And now I'm having the issue that you guys have sound, but I don't. And I don't know why. So I'm just trying to like work out where the issue is happening, because I can hear the buzzing in my ear, so I know there's a signal coming from my streaming PC or from my gaming PC into the Go XLR. With Voice Meter Banana, I can see there's a signal coming from my streaming PC into the gaming PC, and I can see that it's coming from the gaming PC through my capture card, or through my HDMI to the capture card to you guys. But for some reason, it's not coming out to my headphones, which would be what would be going to the Go XLR for me. So I don't know why it's doing that. So there's got to be an issue here somewhere. So settings, audio, monitoring devices, system there, that's fine. And so like it's ultra convoluted and it's completely a niche use. It's not something that anybody else would be using. It's not anything that anybody else would even be looking at to do. But I am. So it's kind of annoying that I'm doing it this way. Yeah, no, it's fine. It's going out to... Okay, so what if I send it... The output goes to the voice meter? Would that work? Did I do anything there? Did anything happen? I don't know. And I can see it in the voice meter going out from my headphone jack as well. Yeah, I can see it going out from my headphone jack. It's just not playing in my ears. And then the routing, I have it going through the input, but for some reason, it's just not playing in my ears. So channel 1 is microphone, channel 2 is music, channel 3 is the game, which is all the sound you all have. So if I do this, it should stop your sound, right? You can still hear me, but no, the game plays... Hold on, there we go. Yeah, so now the game or music or whatever stops. So if I turn this back up, it's back on for you. But for some reason, it's not on for me. This is line in. Yeah, I can hear the buzzing. It's just not giving me the sound. I'm so confused. Yeah, I'm not getting any sound. The music's going. Like, you all have gameplay music. I don't. But it's, Have I tried turning it on and off again? I have. I have. There's been 3 separate streams, and each time it's a different issue, and I don't know why. And it's coming in. I think I might have screwed it up when I plugged in my headphones. So a few days ago I was playing on the gaming PC, because the other thing is, yeah, and I don't even have a Realtek thing. What if I just unplug Okay. And this to the headphones. Okay. Still nothing in my ears. Oh, I'm gonna have to go through the other way again where the game's just gonna be loud. Testing. Okay. You can hear me now, right? Yeah, I'm not getting anything out of this. This is a bummer. Oh, technology. You're the bane of my existence sometimes. If I do this, it'll... Now it's not even working. Weird. Oh. Voice meter banana crashed. For some reason, voice meter banana always crashes when my Go XLR crashes. My Go XLR crashed. Okay. Whoa, it's in my ears now. Okay, I can hear it now. But still not getting sound out of the thing. Huh. Yeah. Just gonna try one last thing and then I'll stop. I can't hear myself. That's the problem. It's so loud. It's so loud in my ears that I can't hear even when I'm talking. Which is like insanely frustrating to try to deal with. Okay. Just one last thing. If I play YouTube, it'll at least give me sound. What's the wrong one? Stream beats. It'll at least give me sound to work with, because the problem is that as I'm trying to do all these fixes, if there's no sound coming out of my gaming PC, I can't hear what's happening. Okay. That works. I can hear that in my ears. Except I don't think you can, right? Yeah, you can't hear that. I can, though. So why can I hear this and I can't hear anything else? Whoops. No, stop. Get out. Exactly, Brian. So I have the monitor on. This is something that I stick with, and a lot of people will like argue with me tooth and nail about it. Output speakers. How about headphones? How about not speakers? How about no? Yeah, see, if I put the output to the voice meter, it won't go in my ears. Alright, so what if I just do speakers then? And speakers. And then... Okay, I can turn it down. But now you don't have sound, which is really friggin' weird. If I do this, do you have sound? No, because now... Oh, weird. Now the game is coming through my, It's coming through my microphone sound. It's not supposed to be coming out through there. Chat microphone, console game. Why is it coming through my chat microphone? I'm so confused. I'm so confused now. Now everything's acting weird. Anyways, this is something that I fight with other streamers about. Not fight, but you know, they have a very, very different opinion than I do. They don't like to use the monitor of their own voice in their heads because they feel it's weird hearing your own voice. The problem is that if you don't hear your own voice, you start to scream to compensate for the sound. You also can't tell if your sound is good or not because you might be distorting or whatever. And so like if you oh my gosh, what do I do? If that's line in. Okay, default. Output. If I do the output, the voice meter. want the output to be the voice meter. Hold on. This goes to my capture card. This goes to my headphones, which is not on. Oh, maybe that's the issue. Okay, I think I figured it out. I think I figured out the issue. I think. I don't know. And then I go here to voice meter. Did I fix it, please? Okay, you have music. I don't. I still don't have music, though. Where's the mouse? That's another problem I'm running into, is my mouse is getting interfered with by other stuff on the table. And so I have to put the mouse in a really specific spot for it to work. Okay, music is playing there, but why isn't it coming out through this one? Ah, there we go. You can hear it? Oh my god, I'm an idiot. Okay, I figured it out. Is it doubled in your ears? Please tell me it's not doubled. Yeah, the music's gonna be really, really loud right now. It's not supposed to be. That's not where the music comes from. I'm just trying to make sure that there was sound coming through from the game. Was it doubled, though? Because that's the other issue I ran into last time. Okay, so there was one really dumb, simple issue I was having. And I guess I fixed it. Because now I can hear the game. And so can you. Okay, now let's just hope that there's no doubled sound. We'll find out in a second. Wait, where's continue? I hope it's not doubled. So basically what happened, my Oculus, I don't know why Oculus has done this. It's so stupid. The Oculus sound switches over when you plug in your headset, but then it doesn't switch it back when you unplug your headset. And it's labeled as headphones. But the sound I'm sending out from my gaming PC is also labeled headphones. So I was on headphones, but it was the Oculus headphones, not the PC's headphones. So it wasn't picking up sound because my Oculus isn't plugged in. So that was why I couldn't hear anything, but you could. Because the way I have it split up is my PC is sending sound out, my gaming PC is sending sound out through the HDMI to my capture card. That's what you are all hearing. And then I have my PC also sending sound out through the headphone jack, which is what I'm hearing. But it was sending it to my Oculus, which is not plugged in. So you could hear it because it was still coming out the HDMI, but I couldn't hear it because it was going to the Oculus and not my headphones. But we got it. We figured it out. So we're good, I think. I hope the gameplay is okay. I know it's definitely 30 frames a second on TikTok, but I can almost never get it to work smoothly on there. I don't know why it's capped at 30 frames. It shouldn't be. All my settings are set to be 60 frames, but for some reason it's 30. But whatever. Okay, we're good. I think we're good. I think it's working. And then the game should be pretty loud, but every time I talk, it should quiet down. I am sorry for all the headaches, everybody. Oh, crap! I'm sorry for the headache, everybody, but we got it. How was work, Nikki? I hope work was okay. Whoa! Okay. I'm gonna die. I'm so gonna die. I'm not prepared. He's got a huge reach. Yeah, Night Owl, seriously, it wouldn't be. Ooh. Okay, I have doubled sound in my ears. I'm okay with that, but I have double sound in my ears. Yeah, I definitely have double sound in my ears. I'm okay with it. I'll deal with it. As long as it's not happening to all of you. Yeah, I have double in my ears, and it's one of the routing options I've set is wrong. For sure, one of the routing settings that I have is wrong. But I'll live with it for now. I'll figure it out later. I didn't mean to attack him. I wasn't thinking. Still quiet. Well, at least some customers came. That's what matters. But yeah, if you're a streamer, tech issues are just part of it. I think I'm just more frustrated about it specifically because I spent like over 6 hours getting this setting to, like this setup to work. All because I want my alerts to be loud in my ears and I don't want the gameplay to be loud in my ears. But yeah, like it's really convoluted. Like I explained earlier, I have my sound going from my streaming PC, which is what my GoXLR is plugged into, which is what all my alerts come from. And it sends all that sound out to my gaming PC. My gaming PC, into my line in on my gaming PC. My gaming PC then takes that sound and my game sound, which is coming from the gaming PC, and sends it out through the HDMI to my capture card. And then that's the sound you are all hearing. Everything combined in the capture card is what you hear. So then I have one knob that turns down your sound. And I can turn your sound back up, right? And my ears stay the same. I can also turn my ears down. Oh, there's the other sound. Why am I hearing? I'm still hearing the gameplay. Huh, I'm still hearing gameplay. I don't know why. I guess I could just, whatever. What if I do this for now? Okay, I guess that's working for now. I don't know. Yeah, I'm getting gameplay sound in my ears. That is so weird. I don't know why. Anyways, so then I send my PC sound and everything to my GoXLR through a line out. So the HDMI is sending it to you, the line out is sending it to me, and then I can manually control my own volume while controlling your volume separately. And then I have alerts on a totally different channel. So like it's super convoluted, unnecessarily so. But it works, and it's doing exactly what I want, so... You can see the taskbar? Oh yeah, weird. That's really weird. You shouldn't. Hold on. I think it's the GoXLR that the problem is happening with, for you to see the taskbar. There you go. No taskbar now, right? Is it Father's Day over there, Nikki? We just had Mother's Day. Our Father's Day, I think, isn't for like another month or something. But thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's what matters. The sound is still messed up in my ears. I can't control the volume of the sound in my ears. I don't know why, but that's okay. We'll play. I spent an hour chatting and trying to figure out these problems. It's working. That's all I'm worried about. YouTube seems to be okay as far as like... frame rate goes. It's running at 30. I don't know why, but whatever. Yours is in June too? Oh, okay. Yeah, I know El Salvador is like Germany. I don't know if the dates are the same as Germany, but we have different dates in El Salvador. It was always really hard as a kid. My parents were never very good at not guilting us about stuff. They struggled a lot with that. And one of the things that my mom was really bad for is she would get mad at us for Mother's Day because we wouldn't wish her a Mother's Day, Happy Mother's Day on Mother's Day for her. Because she grew up in El Salvador, she had a different Mother's Day than we did. So when we wouldn't wish her a Happy Mother's Day, she would be really upset because she thought, you know, we didn't value her or whatever. But we grew up in Canada, and Mother's Day in Canada was on a totally different date. So, like, how am I supposed to know when Mother's Day is in a country that I'm not living in? And so she would get upset, and then we would give her Mother's Day stuff, and it was very, like, oh, thanks, because to her it wasn't Mother's Day. But my mom has never been one to be able to understand outside perspectives. So, like, to her, it wasn't meaningful that we would do that stuff for her, because to her, we missed Mother's Day already. So it was always frustrating for me. Oh, nice, Nikki. That's awesome. Well, thank you. I appreciate the Happy Father's Day. I appreciate that. Life plays into my stream. Oh, man. My stream, you know, at first, and I'm probably going to go back to it to some degree. At first, I was very much into making my stream more like a TV show, like treating my stream like a TV show, being very like punctual with the timing, being very not, because it sounds like I'm saying I'm lying, but it's like I wanted to act. There's a certain level of professionalism that performers have, you know, actors, musicians, whatever, that when you're in front of an audience, you're supposed to act a certain way, to maintain that kind of air of mystery, I guess, or like that like, just like I'm putting on a show. I'm a certain persona in front of the camera. And so I would do that a lot, and I was very, very censored about myself at the beginning of my streaming career. Not because I was embarrassed, but because I wanted the stream to be professional. And so, like, whoa. As time has progressed, I've kind of eased up. I've kind of eased up on that whole persona while I'm on camera. Obviously, to a degree, there's still a persona on camera, because like when I play video games, I literally, internet's still okay. I literally just like lay back and play video games. I'm not chatty. I'm not talking to anybody. I'm feet up, relaxing. So obviously, there is a level of performance when doing a stream, but I've given that up for a lot. You know, I'm willing to talk about when things go wrong. Whereas before, like if I was having tech issues, I felt really bad about it. I felt really anxious whenever something went wrong. I felt embarrassed. I would start sweating. And like my stream was ruined for the rest of the stream if I had tech issues. I'd get really frustrated when people were like complaining about the issues, but not because like they're being annoying that they're complaining about the issues. It was very much a sense of like, oh my God, they're pointing out that something's wrong. Why are you pointing out that something's wrong? I know something's wrong. Let me try to fix it. Please, please, please stop bringing attention to it. Now it's not even annoyance. The only thing is like, I have to repeat myself because like, no, I'm working on it. I'm working on it right now. But like, I don't care if something goes wrong on the stream anymore outside of it disconnecting. I don't really care if, you know, my sound is all messed up, or like right now my sound is not where I want it to be at all. Ouch. And I don't feel bad about it anymore, because at the end, I'm not a professional TV show. I'm not a fancy studio with 15 people working on getting this production live. I'm one guy by myself in my living room. And even then, I've been watching a lot of shows that are quote unquote professional, and the level of production that they have, now that I've been doing this for so long, is a lot lower than I thought. I didn't realize how shabby some of the professional productions were. That like, why should I hold myself to a higher standard than professionals making millions of dollars a year? Right? You know, this isn't high-end TV, but like, I watched a lot of Hell's Kitchen over the last couple of months, and I watched the whole season, like all the seasons, the whole series up until now. And I was doing it with my headphones on while I was at work. And so I don't watch it, I just listen to it. And it became really, really clear how lazy they are in the fake promos that they use, and a lot of the clickbait, quote unquote, what we call on YouTube clickbait. But how prevalent that was on regular TV, where like every episode would end with like, tomorrow will Hell's Kitchen fall apart? Somebody will finally tell Chef Ramsay what they really think of him. And then nothing along the lines of that happens. And how much they take one clip and repeat it multiple times throughout the episode to try to make you think that it happened multiple times, but it's literally the exact same clip. And like the sound will be really bad. Like there are moments where they show a prize and then they show the contestants reacting and like cheering, and then you hear Chef talking, and then you hear that exact reaction in the background of him talking. So you can tell the reaction wasn't to what they said earlier, it was to what he's saying now. And so you can tell that they're faking it all. But that it's done so badly that I'm able to hear the original reaction in the background. And so like, if they're willing to just put that garbage on television with those really blatant mistakes, then why the hell am I going to beat myself up if my audio is doubled for a stream, or if it sounds weird? I'm one guy. I'm not a whole bunch of editors, producers, and camera guys and sound people, where you can say, hey, you only had one job. I have every job. So if there's an issue, I'm not going to beat myself up for it. It really was, Justin. And by the end of it, I think, okay, obviously Chef is a chef with as much respect as he has for a reason, right? He is skilled. I'm not trying to take that away from him. But it's very clear how much of a sellout the production was, and I'm pretty sure he was one of like the producers on the show or whatever, so like it includes him being a sellout, where he would keep chefs that were very blatantly not good chefs on the show just for the drama that they brought on, and they would kick out chefs that were obviously very good for the ability to keep a chef that wasn't that good, and that to me makes me lose a lot of respect for that. But obviously it's very common in those competitions. I mean, American Idol, Canadian Idol, America's Got Talent, all those, if you watch them long enough and you do even just like the lightest bit of topical research on the show, a lot of the competitors that go into the show and move forward are professional performers. And not just like, oh, they're professional, like I was a professional musician, where like nobody had really heard of me. I didn't really have like a production team or anything. It was just my parents, like my dad and my family. But they have like full-blown like professionals competing in a show. They have amateurs mixed in, but they have like full-blown professionals. Like they had one where I think it was America's Got Talent, where they had the boy with no voice, I think is what they called, or the boy with tape on his mouth, something like that. It was a guy who would tape his mouth, and it was like, he would do magic, but it was very like comical, random stuff. Like he would get like a shoe and make it look like it was singing. And he'd like a Michael Jackson thing with the shoe, and then he would like bring audience members on stage and they would dance with it, and he would like create it all for them or whatever without saying a word. It was creative. It's funny. The guy's really talented, but he's a renowned Canadian comedian. Like he's not a nobody. He's had his own like specials on our comedy shows and stuff. He's got already a successful career as a comedian, but then they introduce him to America's Got Talent as if he's a nobody. And Simon Cowell clearly knows who he is and did research and brought him in. It was the same with like the crossbow guy. He was a guy that did a bunch of like trick shots with his crossbow, and he, I think it was Britain's Got Talent that he was in a few years after he was in America's Got Talent. He competed twice, and Simon acted like he had never met this guy, except he competed before with Simon and made it quite far in the show. So like it's obviously staged. But watching Hell's Kitchen be staged to the level that it was kind of disappointing for me. Hey, Ryan, how are you, man? How are things? I'll make you sweat. Ryan, stop it. Yeah, it can be definitely really hard not to let it affect you. It took me a really long time for it not to affect me as much as it did. There's still moments. Like right now I'm feeling not self-conscious, but I'm feeling more sensitive or more like I'm over-analyzing now everything that's happening in my sound, because I know the sound isn't performing where I want it to be. And so like I'm over-analyzing everything now that I'm seeing on screen. But outside of that, like it doesn't bother me anymore. Whereas before, when something went wrong on stream, like I felt frustrated and I would feel anxious. And like it's not a joke that I would start sweating on stream from the anxiety that I was feeling from the fact that my stream was not performing well at the beginning. Even if it performs well for the rest of the stream, I felt really anxious about it. Now, I'm not getting to that level anymore. Like I said, I'm a little bit more. I'm being more vigilant right now than I normally would be. But it's not bothering me as much. But it also took me 6 years of streaming to get here, where I stopped worrying as much. Because the truth is, I don't want it to sound like I'm tooting my own horn or anything, although I do like to do that. But I don't want it to sound like I'm trying to be arrogant, or that I'm like, saying something in a self-aggrandizing way. But my stream is a lot better than a lot of other streamers that are streaming to as many people as I'm streaming to right now. So a few issues on my end doesn't really mean anything, because a lot of other streamers aren't even streaming at the quality that I'm at. So I'm not going to be worried if there's a few issues, because I'm already at a level that a lot of other streamers at my size wish they were at. So why am I going to beat myself up for an issue when I've already achieved a goal that I set for myself a long time ago? Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense. Oh no, what happened, Ryan? What happened with your days off? It's so frustrating having your schedule messed with at work. You know, my brother doesn't do it very often, and whenever he does, it's never him. It's always management that has hired us that causes the issue. Because in the end, we're contractors, right? So like, if they want to hire us for a specific job at a specific time, there's nothing we can do about it. It's kind of part of the deal. But I didn't know this was a boss. But I hate it when I would be working and a job that has a set schedule for me would change it. And it's like, there's no real reason for you to do it outside of like, you just wanted to. I hated that. Thankfully with my brother, my schedule is pretty rock solid. It just is what it is. And I like that. Oh god, okay, I gotta concentrate for a second here. I feel like the gameplay... Uh-oh. Oh, I got poisoned. Gameplay might be a little bit loud for everybody, so I'll turn it down a little bit. Slash those ankles. I love ankles. Show me your ankles. Oh, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. Oh god. Okay, whew. I barely did any damage. This isn't good. Okay, I feel a lot more underpowered with this boss than I did with the last one. It allows you to see the human aspect of streaming. Yeah, I think a lot of newer streamers, and not newer as in like this generation of streamers, I mean newer as in people who have just recently started streaming, have one extreme or the other. They either, and this is my opinion, I'm not saying this is how it actually is, it's just how I've observed things. They either care so little about a show because they see it as streaming is just an average person playing video games that they don't entertain in any way. So it's very like a quiet stream. They're like slouched, their face is covered, they don't care about lighting or sound, and they're just playing a video game. So it's pretty dull. Or they go to the other extreme where they want the stream to be to the point where it is a TV show, which is where I started. So I'm not throwing shade at anybody because I did the exact same thing. And they beat themselves up for like the smallest infraction, and they limit themselves in every aspect where it's like, I have to play this game because according to this website, this game has the most heat with the least viewers. And like, this is the game that's going to make me grow, even though it's a game they hate. And so it's like they're going way too analytical and way too disconnected from it being a human interaction to the point where they burn themselves out because they're not doing something for the joy of it. They're doing something for the technical aspect of it. And it happened a lot with the Mario Maker community that I was in, where they would play Mario Maker and only Mario Maker all the time. And Mario Maker is a very variety-filled game, but you burn out real quick. So you have to have other games mixed in there. And the ones who only ever played Mario Maker burnt out. Almost none of them are still around. And even somebody like Ryukar, who is a huge Mario Maker creator, plays other games. He has another channel where he does other games on purpose because he knows he was burning out on Mario, and he started playing other stuff to give himself a mix. So that way he had his channel for just Mario Maker stuff, but he had another channel where he did a bunch of other stuff so he could keep himself mixed in. And those people who only concentrate on like the analytics and the numbers and the way things are supposed to be and the technical aspect of streaming, they lose touch with the fact that the point of streaming is the connection with the person. So you have to have that balance of like, it is just some guy or some girl in her room playing a video game, but balance it with it's still a show for entertainment. There are other people out there doing the exact same thing as you, so you need to bring some kind of value to the entertainment that you're providing. And it's finding that balance that, one, is really hard to do as a creator, because obviously a lot of us want growth. the other half want the lazy, easy money. But you have to find that balance. And two, it's hard to see the numbers and not see the reaction you expected from the work you're putting in. Because sometimes I'll do a video where I'm like, this is going to be amazing, and then it gets no views. And it can be really hard when you put in all that work and it doesn't get the views you want. Or like you do a stream and then you see other people's streams who are way lower quality than yours and they're doing better than you are. Sometimes it can be really hard to be like, why? But there are reasons for it, right? So like you have to kind of keep in touch with the human nature of it and the fact that you may not have access to the same stuff that somebody else who was really successful might have access to, right? Like I have a family. And I don't have a lot of time to stream a lot. So I'm not going to have the same access to being in front of people's eyes as much as somebody who might be, you know, a bachelor or bachelorette living on their own who have all the time in the world to stream. I also have the benefit that I have a decent job, so I can buy a bunch of cool stuff where somebody else may not have the ability to buy a bunch of cool stuff, even though they have all the time in the world to stream. So it's like there are benefits and drawbacks that we have to be able to accept. And I think a lot of creators kind of forget that part. And that human nature of having those flaws and those obstacles, but also having those benefits and those privileges, I guess would be the closest word, is what makes streaming interesting. And I think a lot of newer streamers have to kind of learn that. Some people learn it way faster than others. And that fine balance is what's going to keep you from burning out in a dangerous way. You know what I mean? Do you like spicy food, Merle? Like, are you somebody who enjoys spicy food, or are you like, oh my God, a little bit of pepper, I'm going to die? Yeah, I bet you none of them did, right? I bet you none of them did. You know, like, and there were so many that did a lot of really great Mario Maker content, but you could just see it in the content that they weren't having fun doing it. And crap. And that very limiting way of looking at streaming also could lead to a very quick initial growth, and then it leads to a very low ceiling. And so, like, my brother and I were talking about this recently, that there's a lot of streamers that we used to watch or that we would interact with that haven't really changed since we were there 5-6 years ago. And haven't changed in the sense of, like, their production quality is exactly the same as it was 5 or 6 years ago. Their content is exactly the same as it was 5 or 6 years ago. And their viewer count is still the same as it was 5 or 6 years ago. And so, like, there's that initial growth that they had, and they kind of stick with it because they think, well, I grew that way at the beginning, I'm going to continue to grow eventually. It's just A, B, C, the reasons that I haven't continued to grow. But they never look at their stream as a business, where eventually you do need to take it to the next level and kind of look at it like a business. And so it's a weird balance. It's a weird balance. Oh, crap. This guy is tough. You love spicy food? Me too. Me too. Oh no, Nikki, that's terrible. My allergies have been okay this year so far. But yeah, there's oh, I forgot I could. Crap, I'm gonna have to walk there again. It's not too far though. Okay, let's go see about upgrading my wait, I can't go back. Where am I? I can't go back. Uh-oh. Isn't this the map? This is as far as I can zoom out. Look. Can I switch the map or something? Oh, show above ground. Oh, okay. I didn't know I could do that. I get it. I'm technically underground, I guess. Anyways, yeah, and like you see a lot of the streamers that I knew back then that burnt out. Like there was that guy, Papa Jodster. And I don't think he streams anymore at all. I haven't seen him stream in forever. This is a guy who did Mario Maker, for everybody who wasn't involved in the YouTube Mario Maker scene. He did Mario Maker. Uh-oh, is that a boss thing? Let's not do that. Map, Y, and X. That's faster. Oh, okay. I'll do that then next time. Christian, how you doing? It's been a minute. How are you? Anyways, he started with Mario Maker, and he was like on a meteoric trajectory. Like the guy was averaging 30 to 40 viewers per stream a couple months into streaming. Like it was crazy. But this is one of those guys that I can't say that this is what happened factually, but he just gave me the vibe that he had a lot of issues behind the scenes that he was dealing with, personal stuff. But he would stream like 12 hours a day, 7 days a week type of thing. Like it was an incessantly high level of streaming, an unhealthy level of streaming. And he only did Mario Maker. That's it. That's all he would play all day long. So he grew really fast. Like I remember there were times where I was jealous to see how much success he was having. Now I was also new. I only started streaming like 2 months before he did. So I didn't really know what streaming was like long term. You know, I'd only been at it for a few months, and I was jealous at how much he was growing. And he was using a potato camera. He used to have a Blue Yeti for his microphone, but like he had it down on his table and he had like a couple socks over it to help with the sound, but that doesn't really help with anything when it's at that distance anyway. And like it was really low quality streaming for his webcam and stuff. He had really dull overlays. It was just all a really low end stream, but he had tons of viewers. And then out of nowhere, he just stopped streaming from one day to the next with no warning, no anything. He just deleted everything. Must have had some kind of break in his private life, and he stopped out of nowhere. But he burnt out. He was doing way too much. And then eventually, after like 6-7 months, I can't remember the exact timeline, he came back for about a month and then disappeared again because he couldn't handle it, because he came right back to the same 12-hour stream, 7 days a week level. And that's unhealthy for everybody, right? Like even if you're a full-time streamer, you can't do that level of streaming with only one game without burning yourself out. And so like it's a bit different when you're a really highly successful streamer, because at least you have money. So on the times you're not streaming, you can go on vacation, you can do things to unwind. But like when you're living in your mom and dad's house, you're not making a lot of money, and YouTube doesn't make a lot of money for streamers. You're going to burn out fast. And that was a really common story for a lot of streamers, where they would find something that was really highly successful for them, and they weren't willing to shift in any way whatsoever, and then they burnt out because they just did too much too fast. And like I've had the most fun now in this last return in the last couple of months doing the least amount of work as far as, worrying about growth. Like I'm streaming what I feel like, when I feel like, however long I feel like. I'm not super stressed out about it anymore like I used to be, which is a really nice feeling. Yeah, I'm excited to see the Spider-Man 2 gameplay. I'm excited to see what they're going to do, because Spider-Man 1 was a cross-platform game. It wasn't really built specifically for the next gen. They added all the upgrades and it looked great, but I'm excited to see what's going to happen now with one that's dedicated to next gen. I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be so good. Okay, yeah. Hold on. Yeah. Oh, okay. The twin maidens, they're the two that are by the bed thingy, right? Aren't they? No, she was by the bed thingy. There's two. They're over here somewhere, aren't they? It's been so long since I've really sat down and played this. You got back into Skate 3. Man, I used to be so into those skating games. I played those so much when I was a kid. I haven't done it in forever, though. Oh, the door with the red person? Okay. Okay. I'm so out of touch. I haven't played this in so long. Like, I am totally disoriented. But yeah, and burnout is a real thing when it comes to streaming. I think a lot of people think, you know, like, okay, I played Divinity over the last few weeks, and I've been playing an insane amount. There was a few days ago where I did, I want to say, like an 8-hour session. But there's a really big difference between me sitting on the couch with my feet up and playing, going to the bathroom and playing, sitting here for a while and playing, and then sitting in front of the camera with the lights on, talking to the microphone, reading chat. There's a really big difference. 10 hours of me sitting on my butt and eating snacks is a lot easier than 10 hours of this. Even 3 hours of this is exhausting. And so, like, I think a lot of new streamers don't grasp that, and they'll argue and say, no, it's fine. I can play games for 15 hours. I'm fine doing a 5-hour stream. They don't realize the entertainment level of it.
Have you ever felt the curse?
It's not a boss. Okay.
Pox upon life itself. Feared.
Ew. Hey, look, he's got the sun symbol. Is he praise the sun? And so, like, it's very...
You are but a lamb.
Not that it frustrates me, but it's like, oh my god, just listen to me, dude. I'm talking to you for a reason. With the... When you tell them, like, hey, ease up on the streaming. Because you've seen it. I've seen other people that started at the same time as me that don't stream at all anymore because they just couldn't do it. But people don't want to listen, right? There are people that you try to give advice to and they see it as an attack instead of seeing it as a, like, hey, I'm just pointing out what's going to hurt you down the line. Like, it's wrong because it's going to hurt you, not that it's wrong because you're wrong. It's wrong because even though it seems good right now, down the line, it's going to hurt your channel. And they'll see it as, like, I'm saying they're stupid for doing this. And it's like, that's not the point. The point is you're shooting yourself in the foot, and I'm trying to help you not shoot yourself in the foot, because 3 years down the line, you won't be around anymore, or you'll be at the exact same spot you're in now. But we're trying to prevent that from happening. You know, and it's sad. I don't give a lot of Twitch advice anymore for that specific reason, because people see it as an attack. Not only as an attack, but they see it as in, like, nobody asked for your help. And it's like, no, you didn't ask for my help, but, like, if somebody was going to walk... a little kid who's going to go and touch a hot stove, you're stopping them from doing it because you don't want them to burn themselves. They're going to learn it from burning themselves, sure. And they didn't ask me whether they should touch it or not, but I'm going to stop them from touching it because I don't want to see them burn themselves. And that's all we were trying to do when trying to help somebody who's new and maybe making a really blatant mistake. But then they see it as in, you're stopping me. So it's like, all right, man, you want to burn yourself? Go ahead. And I'm kind of at that point now where it's like, yeah, just go ahead. It'll be a really rare occasion that I'll try to help somebody now at this point. Exactly, Ryan, exactly. Performing for 15 hours and playing for 15 hours. Two totally different things. Tyler, how's it going, man? How are things? Oh my god, the twin maidens before the door. Jesus, I'm so distracted right now. Really, Christian? Huh. Oh, because they look like statues. I knew that's what they look like, but still. That's cool about the skate game. That's cool. I don't trust EA. I don't trust EA. So I'm kind of weary on when they say something is free with no microtransactions, because they're just blatant liars, but I'm hoping that they're not lying. I'm hoping that they're learning that people aren't interested in microtransactions anymore. Tyler, I don't know. Maybe you do. I have no idea. But yeah, it's this weekend, right? Like in 2 days or whatever. Okay, purchase, please. So what am I I don't have any runes. I lost everything. A memory stone, stone sword key. I don't think they sell what I need. I don't think they sell what I need anyway. Oh, it's not just... Yeah, there's nothing. There's weapons, armor, and these things. Yeah, they don't have them. I don't have runes anyway, so I couldn't buy them even if I wanted to. I have no idea, Jack. I have no idea. something to level up my my little XY. Oh, that's what you're saying. Okay, I get it now. There we go. And let's go back over here. Was this where I was? Yeah, I guess so, Weeman. All right, Tyler. I am supposed to be getting paid in the next day or two. It's going to be so hard for me not to spend money because I'm going to have, hopefully, my paycheck by then. There's so much to do. No, to summon up these guys, the little, I want to say squid, but it's not squid. The jellyfish and the wolves, that kind of stuff. I think those are the only summons I have too, right? I don't think I have any other ones. I haven't done my taxes yet. I need to, but I don't have the money. I don't have the money to do my taxes. I know that our government was on strike, but I think they're not on strike anymore. I haven't kept up with it, so I don't know. But I need to do my taxes. I just haven't had the money. I've been so friggin' broke. Oh, that's always nice, Merle. That's always nice. That was like me. So I'm really confused. My old job where I used to work, I quit, right? And I told them I was quitting. Basically, I asked for vacation time. I wanted like a leave of absence for about 2 months. And they told me no. They told me they could only give me 7 days. And that I needed to ask 2 or 3 months in advance. And I was asking about 3 weeks in advance. And so I told them that I had no choice. I was either not going to work or they were going to give me the time off or I was going to quit, basically. They said they couldn't give me the time off. So I said, okay, then I'm going to resign. This is my official resignation in 3 weeks or whatever, or 2 months. No, 3 weeks, I think it was. It's my official resignation is my warning now. And, when I'm back, I'll apply for my job again. And they said, fine, no problem. And then about 2 months ago, I got my vacation pay. They didn't pay me my vacation pay in like almost a year. And about 2 months ago, I got my vacation pay out of nowhere. And then like last week, I got another $60 from them for no reason. So I have no idea why they gave me $60 and why I'm still I'm guessing I'm still technically hired by them. So I don't really know what the hell's going on with them. I guess they just never fired me and they just emptied my schedule and they just left me that way. Which is really weird. But that $60 was really nice because I had to do my hair. Nobody was here when I was talking about it at the beginning, but I had to get my hair. I got a new system and I got my hair cut and we went for a bit of a different haircut. I'm on the fence on whether I like it or not. And not because the hairstylist did a bad job. I think she's amazing. She's a wizard with hair. I just don't know if it works for my face shape. The hair's a lot longer than I normally get. And so I'm kind of on the fence on whether I like it or not, especially because it's a hair system. The hairline is kind of fake. And this hairstyle accentuates the hairline a lot. So I don't know how I feel about it. Just let it flow through. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. I'm not asking any questions. I'm not saying anything to them. The only thing... Oh, crap. The only thing, and one of the reasons I didn't do my taxes earlier, is they never sent me my T4, my tax papers. They never sent me them. And so I'm afraid to ask them for them because obviously they've given me money for some reason. But like... I need those papers to do my taxes. So it's a little frustrating. You know what I mean? You need to get used to the controls again? Yeah, me too. Oh no, you mean for Tears of the Kingdom. Oh, I want Tears of the Kingdom so bad. I want them so bad. Ignore the big dude? Like this big, this boss fight or the big guy that's down when I jump down? I really, really want to play Tears of the Kingdom. I don't have the money right now, and I'm not even... Like, it's not even on my radar. It's not a game that I'm even like, yeah, I need to get it. I want to get it, but I'm not going to. Oh, okay, the other one. Okay, yeah. Yeah, no, I'm ignoring him. But yeah, I'm kind of like, I'm on the fence about the hair because like it's similar to the hairstyle I've had with like the brushed over, the swept over comb over, but it's way longer, as you can tell. Like there's a lot more hair. And then she went really short on the side. But what I don't like is like you can see that the hairline is like perfectly straight, which makes the system look faker. And technically, like this, I'm having a hard time because of the camera. This is supposed to be like further back, but that just accentuates the hairline. So like I'm throwing it forward, so it like breaks up the hairline a little bit. When the hair was shorter, I could have it kind of like curl over here to kind of break that hairline up to make it look a little bit better. This, I can't really hide the hairline, so I don't know how I feel about it right now. I'm going to try it for a couple of weeks, see how it grows on me. I'm going to try to adjust it in 2 weeks when I take it off and do the maintenance on it. If I don't like it, I'm really worried about approaching a non-hair system hairstylist to ask them to cut it, to trim it a little bit, only because hair systems, they need a specific style to cut them for them to look good. If you cut them wrong, they don't grow, so they don't fix any errors they make. But there are none in my region that are willing to work with like they have their own hair systems that they work with, and they don't want to work with anybody who has other hair systems. But I also don't want to drive 2 hours and pay $50 for just a quick trim and 2 hours back. So like I'm on the fence. And I used to cut my own hair, but I don't feel gutsy enough to cut a hair system on my own. You know what I mean? Yeah, Tyler, that's probably what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to try to look for it online to see if I can get them to, or to see if I can get the T4. I just don't want to do all the work and so much money for taxes. I hate taxes. But yeah, so I want to see it'll grow on me. I think part of it is I feel the hair is just a little bit too... One, the swept back look, the hairline makes it much more obvious. But two, and I don't want it to come out wrong because it's not what I'm trying to say. It's just I feel for my face shape and for the look that I like to have, I feel the hair is a little bit too feminine. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Like it's too delicate. And so like I'm not a fan of how it looks with my face, because I've seen other guys pull this off and it looks perfect for the way that their shape is and like the way they dress and stuff. For me, it just seems like it's disconnected from me. Do you know what I mean? So I'm kind of, I don't know. I just don't know how I feel about it. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know. I'm hoping it'll grow on me. Let's not get too hasty here. Although, my hairstylist said something that really caught me off guard. When I showed her the pictures, I was like, I'm kind of leaning towards this kind of hairstyle. I don't know what you think. And I basically said, just do what you think will work. And so she inspired from there, did this. But her response to me, which really caught me off guard, was she goes, you are kind of like an alt guy. So like, yeah, I think you could pull it off. I've never seen myself as an alt guy, which is like a very different perspective than what I expected. I just didn't expect that. When I look at myself, I don't see myself as an alt guy. I see myself as a pretty boy. So it was really weird to hear that. And like, I'm a pretty boy, but like I'm no longer like I like the pretty boy look because I'm so well kempt and I'm very much like I like to do my hair and stuff. But at the same time, I feel like the hair is prettier than the level that I can maintain. I think that's what I'm trying to say when I say it's feminine. It's that it's prettier than a level that I could maintain, and like maintain in the sense of like dress to match it and style it in a way that'll work. If I was a bit thinner, if I looked less tired, if I dressed nicer, I think it would work. But I think that's what I'm struggling with right now. It's also just very, very different than what I normally do. And so I think that plays into it, is just that I'm not used to seeing myself that way. So like, and because I know it's a system and I've done a lot of research into systems, I can see systems a lot easier. And so it stands out to me. It's kind of like with the stream that I can see issues with my stream, and a lot of people will come and be like, wow, your stream's amazing. And I'm going, it's got some problems. But it's because I look at it at a much more in-depth level than other people do. So I feel the same thing about the hair system is probably in play. Sorry, I'm trying not to burp. It's probably in play. So I can see the hairline being very artificial a lot more obviously than other people can. Not saying that other people can't tell. I'm just saying I think it's even more obvious to me. And I think that's plaguing my mind a bit. Beat this game in like an hour. That's awesome. Can I see some gameplay so I can try to learn some tips? Blame me for the candy. What's an alt guy? You know, like alternative, like a punk rock emo-ish type of guy. The like what emos have kind of turned into now. Do you know what I mean? Like one of those punk rock guys, like that kind of alt. Which that's why I was so shocked that she said that, because I was like, I don't see myself as like a punk rock guy. Like I definitely am not in spirit. I think women that use that fashion sense are like, they drive me crazy. But because I'm not, and I don't listen to that music, and I don't dress that way, it's not really the type of woman that I ever date. But like, it was really weird to hear that, be told that. It was really weird. You can kind of see why. Like the only thing I saw was like my earrings are spiky and dangly, and then I paint my nails. That was the only thing that I could really see. I think the shirt, I was wearing a shirt yesterday that I think is from a brand that usually does more like alt style stuff. But like I don't know. It was really weird for me to hear that. You weren't recording? Darn. Next time. Black hair, black eyeliner, black pants. The wide ones, yeah. The skater pants, yeah. See, and I never did that. I hung out with those people. a lot. But they always teased me because I was such a pretty boy. Like, I was the one that wore, like, the really tight shirts that were, like, unbuttoned down to the chest with no undershirt, even though I had no muscle. I did like the perfectly spiked hair. Now this was a fashion thing here. I don't know if it existed anywhere else, but I used to wear like a bra strap as like a headband. I used to have like the puka shell or puka shell. That's what they're called. The puka shell necklace that was like tight. It was like a choker. You know, I listened to like Euro dance music. I did like the whole glow stick thing, and like I was really into that scene. So I never saw myself that way. So they always made fun of me because they called me a pretty boy, because I wouldn't go anywhere without doing my hair and making sure that I was like immaculate when I'd go out. Whereas like my punk rock skater friends, they didn't really care. They'd throw their stuff on. They would spend time doing their makeup and hair and stuff. But like if they were just going to hang out with their friends, they didn't care. They wouldn't do anything. They would just be lazy and hang out. Whereas like for me, even if I was just hanging out at their house all day, I would have to look perfect. And that has still kind of, you know, gone with me over time. So hearing that I was like an alt guy was something I didn't expect. I mean, it was kind of like flattering because, you know, the alt look is really in now, and it wasn't before. So that was kind of flattering to hear for sure. But yeah, damn it. I'm torn with the hair. Like it's nice to see that like Tyler's saying he likes it, Preston's saying he likes it, Ryan is hitting on me, which is like, so it's definitely reassuring. I'm still just kind of on the fence. We'll see. I think this angle is the angle that bugs me. Is the, you know, like the big swoop over. This angle kind of bugs me. Just the forehead, I think. This angle, I think, works really well. You know who I feel like I look like? Hold on. It just clicked for me. It just clicked. Let me show you real quick. Hold on. Go to the big camera. Hold on. I can go even further. Hold on. Hold on. I got props and everything. Ready? Are you ready for this? Hold on. Let me get the picture first so you can see it. This is what I think this is. Now I can't get this image out of my head. Now whenever I look in the mirror, I'm going to see this. Okay. Hold on a sec. Hold on. This is my... I'm going to add it on YouTube first, and then I'll show you on TikTok too. Image, where's image? Image. I don't have my headphones in, so I can't hear any alerts in case there's any alerts and I miss them. Hold on. Don't go too far yet. Don't go too far. Now we're swooping the different ways, so I'll have to like rotate it. Transform, flip horizontal, and we'll add it here to TikTok so you guys can see it too. This is who I see when I'm thinking about my hair. And I look at it. But then you add the plastic piece on the side of the head. Get me those stones. I want those stones. If you don't know who this is, it's Gary Oldman from Fifth Element, and he wants those stones. This is what I see when I see my hair. Because of the big swoop. You know, I can't even do it because the camera is like, I'm not used to the way that it swoops. Oh my god. But this is yeah, so like do you see what I mean though? Like it's a big swoop, and so like it's a little bit different. I like it. I think I have to just grow on it. So I'm gonna give myself a couple of weeks to get used to it. He's got nothing on you. If you haven't seen Fifth Element, it's such a great tacky movie. It's awesome. I love it. I grew up watching that as a kid. And it was big, but that just clicked on me that it's very, very Gary Oldman in Fifth Element. Where's this boss? I don't even remember how I got here. I barely played this game in the last little while, so I can't remember how I got to this boss fight. I'm sorry. I apologize. But yeah, I think it's got to grow on me. I'm really concerned about when I don't do my hair. And that's more of like a mechanical concern, in the sense of like the other hair was short, so like all I had to do was just run a brush through it to kind of get it into the shape that I wanted, and then it was fine. And if it like fell over my eyes, it wasn't a big deal because it was short. This is really long, and like if I don't do the hair, because it's so long and the product that I use, it'll stay in the position that it's in. And I'm worried that it's going to end up like I'm going to have bedhead and I'm not going to be able to just kind of brush my fingers through it and then be fine for the day. Or like when I'm at work, that this will get really hot to deal with. I think that's the only thing as far as like the mechanical part of it that I'm worried about. Because having shorter hair is really nice when not having to worry about it when I didn't want to do the hair. Because the more you do it, the worse it is for this kind of hair. But we'll see what happens over the next couple of days. Because like the other hair as well, I could wash it and then I would just let it air dry. I would put it in the position I wanted and it would just air dry and it would go kind of where I wanted. This is so big and heavy that when it's wet, I don't know what it's going to do once I let it air dry. So we'll see. We'll see. Definitely on our movies list to watch. It's so horribly bad that it's good. Like it's really not a great movie, but it is a great movie. I don't know. I liked Fifth Element a lot. Growing up, my brother and I used to watch it all the time. And that guy that won, though, the really old Asian guy that won for Everything Everywhere All at Once, or whatever that movie is called, the one who gave the speech, he's in it. And he was one of my favorite characters in the movie, even though he's only in it for a couple of scenes. And he plays the stereotypical, like, old Chinese man. He was really funny in it in his couple of lines. I think I'm way underpowered for this boss fight. I think I need to just explore another area. Yeah, I need to explore another area. There's just no way I can do this. Yeah. Hair clips. Hair clips. Yeah, and like, if it wasn't for like the hairline issue, like if I sweep it back, I can get like the pompadour going, right? Like look how quickly I got a pompadour, right? I got a big old pompadour, but the hairline is just so perfect. Now it's a little bit lopsided, but it's because the way that I put the hair system on, I didn't put it on perfectly straight. But like, then the hairline, you can see, shut up. You can see how straight the line is, which makes it look way more fake. So like this just helps kind of break it up just a little bit. But we'll see. We'll see. Cute butterfly colored ones. Golden ones with like little fake diamonds. Little fake diamonds. That's what you want. I gotta show the bling. The bling bling. Yeah, I don't even know what to do. I don't even know what to do in this game. Okay, I'm not gonna do it. That guy's just destroying me. I need to level up. I need to level up. I do, Merle. I do. And I mean, if I can get the hairline to look a little bit better, after a couple of weeks, the hair starts to fall out and the hairline breaks up a little bit more, so it'll look a little bit better. Then I might try like a proper like slick back hairdo or like a full-blown pompadour. See what I can do, because with more hair, I also have more options. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah, so I'll be live tomorrow around... I don't think I'm going to start at the same time as today, but it depends. If I go to bed really early, I will. But yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. Maybe we'll continue with this. I don't know. I haven't made up my mind yet. Can I backstab? Nope. Holy crap. This is rough. Just have gravity do its thing. Yeah, I mean, like right now I'm using mousse, which is why I can like put it in positions and it kind of just stays. And then I used a little bit of wax just to texturize it, or like it's like a texturizing cream to texturize it a little bit, just so it has some shape to it. Because when I first get out of the shower, because one of the things with hair systems is you have to brush them because they can get matted within a couple of days. And then they're destroyed and you have to buy a new hair system. So I brush it every night, and then I brush it every morning after I shower. But after brushing it, it's like perfectly combed over like Gary Oldman's is. And it just looks a lot... It looks even faker because of how absolutely perfectly it's combed. So I like to use a texturizing cream to add a little bit of shape to it, so there's a little bit of messiness to it while still keeping it in position. But yeah, I mean, after I shower tomorrow, we'll see what happens. I'll probably just like comb it and let it dry with the air and see what it does. Put a little bit of... No, I can't put mousse in when it's drying, because then it comes out hard, like Ryan does after we hung out all night. No worries, Nikki. You go ahead and lurk. Enjoy Tears of the Kingdom. I really want to play it. Apparently, it's like breaking records with sales. I'm like... I'm underpowered for this area. I don't think I'm ready for this area. I'm way too underpowered for here. I'm split on whether I'm happy or not that the game is doing as well as it is, because like it doing well, it's a Zelda game, so I'm happy that it's doing well, that it's a good game. But the part of me that's not happy that it's doing well is the part that is against Nintendo being so territorial over their IPs and with streaming and stuff. It's so funny. Totally different subject about Nintendo. I have spent the last 2 weeks getting bullied on the internet by a bunch of Gen Z and I don't even know if they're Gen Alpha, but like younger gamers, because they're butthurt that I called out Nintendo being toxic with their whole anti-streaming perspective. You know, and that I'm a Nintendo hater, that I'm out of touch, that I'm not a real gamer, blah, blah, blah. But then last night I got a comment, or yesterday during the day, I got a comment from somebody calling me a Nintendo shill, that I'm clearly not in touch because I shill for Nintendo. Because I made a video where I said, hey, this is something that they did for copyright. I think it's pretty cool. So apparently I'm a Nintendo shill that also is out of touch and is a Nintendo hater. Toxic people, they don't even have two brain cells to put together to be able to like even make a cogent argument. Like if I'm a shill, I'm a shill, but if I'm a toxic hater, then I'm a toxic hater. I can't be both at the same time about the same company. Yeah. So for like the last month, I've been getting, you know, messages over and over again that, you know, well, Point Crow's in the wrong and I'm an idiot for thinking that Nintendo shouldn't, you know, protect their IP and all this stuff. And to a degree, I get it. Like, you know, they're legally right. But is it the best choice? I don't think so. You know, and is it damaging their IP? I really don't think so. Because they're not selling, like, it's not like Point Crow, him doing this is causing Nintendo not to have sales, or him playing with the mods. It's not like it's, you know, giving the game away for free. Like, yes, there's the connection of, like, to mod the game, you have to hack it or hack the system, and like that promotes that part of the piracy culture. But like, he's not actually doing that. So like, it's not really that damaging. At the same time, I get it, because, you know, it is Nintendo's IP and they have all the right to do that, and they should protect their property. I just think they're going about it in a really negative way. But then having somebody get mad at me and call me a shill because I use the Nintendo Famicom Entertainment System or whatever, the Famicom, using their protection for their disc system as like a fun fact, that makes me a shill. And it's like, how am I a shill for pointing out something that they just did back in the 80s to protect their IP? Like, it's not like I'm saying, look at guys, Nintendo's amazing. It was just like, hey, this is something that they did in the past. But like, gamers that are like toxic fanboys and girls of a brand are like the worst of our community. And it's ridiculous. I think that has to do more with the fact that Nintendo, although they work with the Pokemon company, it's not directly with Nintendo. But I think that might be a part of it. I don't know for sure. But I think a bigger part of it is because of Tears of the Kingdom coming out. I think Nintendo just went overboard and was just trying to stop everything about Zelda in order to only allow Tears of the Kingdom information to come out from Nintendo, so they would get all the views for Zelda stuff. I think it was one of those like stupid ideas, like if there's no other options, then we're going to be the only option. But it backfired, and the reality of it was they're coming off as tyrants. You know what I mean? It's kind of like when companies come out and buy out every other brand just so their brand is the only option. I think Nintendo was kind of trying to do the same thing with the videos. But the funny thing is, this shows how out of touch and stupid the Nintendo management team is. They copyright strike their own content on their own channel because they're so stupid and so tyrannical about taking everything down that they took down their own videos. Like, that just shows how they're literally just doing it for the outcome of taking people down, not because they actually have a moral issue with it. Do you know what I mean? It's so stupid. Yeah, right. And that's why I think that it was more to do with Tears of the Kingdom than anything else. Because, yeah, they had been really lenient for a long time. They're still tyrannical and randomly will take stuff down with no rhyme or reason, but they really went into overdrive over the last little bit. And I think it was Tears of the Kingdom that caused it. But it's so stupid. Instead of promoting those communities to drive up the hype for the game, they took everything down, which it didn't affect their hype, but it's because Nintendo is Nintendo right now. And so, like, the Nintendo fans are gonna support Nintendo no matter what they do at this point. I think something that a lot of the toxic fans that are coming after me are missing is this isn't gonna be the forever for Nintendo. Because go back to the 90s and Konami was Nintendo. Like, they were the company, they didn't make consoles, but they were the company that anything they made was good. And you had no doubt that when it had the Konami logo on it, you were going to have a top-of-the-line experience. And so you would buy anything Konami because you knew it was going to be great. And then Konami started becoming toxic and bad towards their player base, bad towards their developers, and they started worrying more about their budget and started to spit in the face of all their supporters, not realizing that their supporters are who gave them that budget. And now anything Konami comes out with is going to instantly be deemed a failure, whether or not it's good. And anything that is exciting is seen with a huge, huge magnifying glass for any issues. So like Silent Hill, a whole bunch of Silent Hill stuff got announced a couple of months ago. Every Silent Hill fan is excited. But every Silent Hill fan's going, but is it going to be like another Metal Gear Survive situation? Is it going to be another Silent Hill Shattered Memories situation? Like, should we get our hopes up? And Konami was huge. Nintendo could go down the same road. Although they have a lot of money right now, goodwill only goes so far, and the toxic community only goes so far, and Nintendo doesn't have the benefit of third-party support to be able to say, well, even if they kill Zelda, there's other stuff for the Switch. No, if they lose their first-party support, they've got nothing. So, as of right now, anyway. And we don't want to see that. I think that's the bigger concern that a lot of these like toxic fans are missing out on. Is it's not that we think, hey, Nintendo's garbage, we should beat them up. It's the, hey, Nintendo's wonderful, but they're doing a lot of things that are going to make us all turn away. And then they will be the next Konami, and we don't want to see that. And even though they have an insane amount of money and they can make a lot of mistakes, it doesn't take a lot for them to no longer be viable as a company, whether they have the money or not, for gaming anyway. So it's heartbreaking, you know? It's heartbreaking to see. And I just don't want to see that. I would like to see them embrace things. I mean, hell, EA was a huge company 10 years ago. And over the last 10 years, they're now seen as one of the worst companies in the world. And anything that comes up by EA is instantly ridiculed and seen as like, how are they going to try to get microtransactions out of this? How are they going to try to rip us off out of this? And they're trying to do some things to fix that now, but like, I don't want to see that happen to Zelda or Pokemon or Mario. You know what I mean? Yeah. Pokemon comes out every year, so it's a lot less impactful for them. For sure. You're definitely right on that. I don't know where to go. I'm so disoriented. I'm confused. But I can't remember. I don't want to say it and then have people think that I'm saying this is what's happening and then be like, you were wrong, you're such a loser. I want to say this is what I heard. That there have been talks within Nintendo that they're looking towards maybe making Zelda. Was it Zelda or Mario? One of the two. Making them a yearly release type of game. Whether it's like, no, I want to say maybe maybe it was a user that said that they wish that they would do that. Sorry, I didn't take my ADHD meds and I took them today and I'm feeling really like screwed up. Maybe it wasn't Zelda. Now I'm second guessing my own memory. Crap, I can't remember. No, I don't think, maybe it wasn't Zelda. Scratch that, ignore it. I think I might have been wrong. Although I do remember, that I do have this memory properly, that there was a viewer that commented this, and I agree with this, that they should do not more common, like more often releases, but like they should vary the way that they're releasing their Zelda games. Like do Breath of the Wild style Zelda, and then do like a Ocarina of Time style Zelda, like the old fashioned classic style Zelda. And then maybe do like a handheld style top down, what was it called? The Minish Cap and you know, the SNES version of Zelda, A Link to the Past, like that style of Zelda. So like have 3 different types of Zeldas going all at once. Not at once, but like vary what they're releasing. So then people who don't like Breath of the Wild style Zelda will still have their own type of Zelda that they'll enjoy. Do you know what I mean? And maybe even, well, I mean, now they only have the Switch. But like have those ones be smaller budget, smaller in scope, and then have like their big Zelda release. I wouldn't mind seeing something like that, because I'm not a big fan of the Breath of the Wild style of Zelda. I don't hate them. I don't think they're bad. It's just if they gave me like an Ocarina of Time style Zelda and then a Breath of the Wild style Zelda to choose, I would be going for the Ocarina of Time style any day. For me, Breath of the Wild, as far as like the Zelda choice goes, it's middling at best, as far as my enjoyability of a Zelda game. Now, again, that game is fantastic. I love it. It's just when I play a Zelda game, I want a specific type of game, and Breath of the Wild just isn't that for me. Does it? So I heard it has some callbacks, but there was one review in particular that was getting roasted online. because they gave it a 6 out of 10, and everybody else is like 9.5, 9.3. Like they're giving it really, really high rankings, and everybody agrees those rankings are accurate. It's not like ass kissing towards Nintendo. But one company gave it a 6 out of 10. And we were talking about this yesterday, that a lot of reviewers now have kind of accepted that 7 out of 10 is a mediocre game. And so like a 6 out of 10 is a bad game. And so people are looking at it in that way, which is wrong. A 6 out of 10 is still, it's a mediocre game. It's a little bit better than mediocre, but it's mediocre. That being said, the reason this person or this company gave them that ranking is, and they said it with Breath of the Wild when that came out, was they don't like those types of games. They want like the Ocarina of Time style Zelda game. And so Breath of the Wild was not that. And so it's not a game they would enjoy. And so they reviewed it from their point of view. And so with Tears of the Kingdom, they gave it a 6 because for the review, they're like, it gets closer, but it's still not that. So it's still not what I want. And they're getting destroyed for it. They're getting completely destroyed for it. But I would like to see, like, even if they took their old games, because they already have the engine, take Minish Cap, take Seasons of Ages and Oracles or whatever it's called, or Oracle of Ages, whatever it's called. Take those two. Take all those like top-down games, the SNES one, and just put them into that new engine that they created for the... I can't remember what it's called right now. The one that was a dream on the island, in Koholint Island or whatever, that one. Take that engine and just put those top-down games on those and release those every couple of years. I would love that. I'd be buying those all over the place before Tears of the Kingdom. But again, that being said, I think Tears of the Kingdom is going to be an amazing game. It's just I'm not getting my Zelda itch scratched. It's still a great game. It's just not doing what I want. From that genre of game. I don't know if I'm making sense with what I'm saying. It's kind of like Final Fantasy. The newer Final Fantasy games, I've enjoyed them all. But when I play Final Fantasy, I want like Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9 style gameplay. Turn-based, very, very specific gameplay style. Random encounters, spending hours just like fighting random encounters to level up. Like that's the kind of gameplay I'm looking for when I'm playing Final Fantasy. And so even though the new Final Fantasies have been good, they just haven't been what I'm looking for when I play a Final Fantasy game. So I've kind of fallen off the Final Fantasy bandwagon. I'm hoping 16 will be, although it won't be what I want, I'm hoping it'll still be a really good game and make it worthwhile. But it's kind of how I feel about Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild. It's a great game. It's not scratching the itch that I have for a specific type of game. Which is like a bummer for somebody like me, because they're not going to sell that type of game for like a very, very small offshoot of the community. That's why I'm hoping that they'll do like remakes instead. At least that'll give me something. But again, I think it's going to be a great game. I'm going to buy it, and I know I'm going to enjoy it. But I just wish there was another option for me. But I'm excited for it, though. I just don't have the money to do it right now. So, and now with the router doing what it's doing, which it's been stable for the last hour, so hopefully we're good at least until the stream ends. Anyways, now I have to buy a new router, so the game is definitely not going to be for a while. I might even wait until there's like a new Nintendo console coming out in 2-3 years to get the game. Because, like, I don't think I've even played anything on my Switch in a while. It's been like a year since I've really sat down and played anything on my Switch. I've turned my Switch on once in the last year. And I turned it on to try to find something to play. I downloaded a bunch of games that I owned already that I wanted to try to play, and then I just couldn't bring myself to play it. So, I might wait for a new console when I'm excited, and I can, hopefully if it has backwards compatibility, then I can go and play it on there. But we'll see. We'll see. You pre-ordered Final Fantasy 16? Yeah, I'm You have connections? Yeah, I mean, like I'll probably get it eventually. I'm just not because it's not like, yay, I don't even know what the alert was for. Graham, Jeffrey, Rich, thank you for the follow. I really appreciate that. Because it's not exactly like so specific to what I like from Zelda. I'm not, I don't want to fight this guy. I'm not in that like pressured rush of like, I want to play this game. I want this game. It's like the hype has me hyped, but like, I'm not going to be super heartbroken if I don't play it for a while. I'm trying to think of a game where I am dying to play it and it's killing me because I can't afford it. I think like the closest I could come to is maybe Sons of the Forest is one that I wish I could buy right now. There's not really anything because like Dead Island 2 was like the big one, but I have that because Deep Silver gave it to me. But right now there's not anything that I'm really dying for. Final Fantasy 16 though is definitely one that I want to get. I did play Breath of the Wild. I did. I really enjoyed Breath of the Wild. I did it on stream when it first came out. I got it with my Switch. And I did like a whole, like I did a bunch of videos lined up outside of EB Games at the time. I lined up outside of EB Games to get it. And then I played it on stream for like 4 streams in a row. And I loved it. I played it. It was great. And I think... and it was my biggest complaint with what's it called, Mario Odyssey, was that if Mario Odyssey had gone more along the lines of Breath of the Wild, I would have liked it more when it comes to like the gameplay loop. But I felt like Mario Odyssey took the Korok game loop from Zelda, and then that was all of Mario Odyssey. And the Korok part was like the least interesting part for me for Zelda, not because it was bad. It's just I've never been a gamer that likes to do random collectathons. And that's what Super Mario Odyssey was, and I hated that. But Breath of the Wild I thought was great. It was just, once I beat it, I never went back and played it again. I've had zero interest in turning it on again. Because there's so many speedruns that's what they do. Like, they literally go off of the I don't even know where I'm going. I'm so disconnected from the stream right now. I'm sorry, everybody. It's so... the speedruns, you could go out of the tutorial island and like head right to Ganon. Now, obviously, he's going to be really, really hard to beat. You need a really high skill level to beat him. But like, technically, you could beat the game like that. There is no real incentive to do anything else outside of longer stamina and more hearts. Whereas, like, I think that's the big thing that I like about the regular Zelda, where like there's temples, and in order to move on, you can unlock things from those temples to move to the next area. And the temple gives you a tangible tool that you can use to move forward. And I felt like Breath of the Wild didn't have enough of that for my style of gameplay. So once I beat it, I had zero reason to go back and play it. And so like, I've literally never played it since then. I think I might have done it once on stream again when I did like a play every game with a 3-heart challenge type thing. But like, I have zero interest in playing it again, even though I know I had fun when I played it. I don't have interest in playing it. And I'm worried that that's what's going to happen with Tears of the Kingdom for me. Not that the game is bad. It's just, I don't have interest in games like that. Just like I have no interest in like Call of Duty, or I have no interest in like Stardew Valley. Even though they're very popular games, I just find them immensely boring. And I'm worried that Tears of the Kingdom is going to go down the same line. So for me, I'm not in a rush to buy it. I know it's never going to go down in price, but I'm just not in a rush to buy it. I actually played all of them multiple times on stream for Zelda. I played all of them normally through. Then I went back and did a 3-heart challenge on all of them. And then the ones that had like Master Mode or Hero Mode or whatever, I went back and did it that way as well. And then I was actually doing a 3-heart challenge in that Master, Hero, whatever mode. I did it multiple times. And so like, I don't mind playing those games over and over again on stream. It's just Breath of the Wild. I need a goal in game. This is where I'm struggling, especially today with this game, is I need like a go here and do this. And Breath of the Wild doesn't. It just goes, do what you want and explore where you want. And after that initial excitement of exploring stuff, I I don't have interest in going back and doing it again. And like right now on stream, I am having zero fun playing this right now because I don't know where I'm going and I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. And so I'm not actually enjoying Elden Ring right now. But again, it's not a reflection on how bad the game is. It's a reflection on how my mind needs a very specific set of parameters for me to enjoy a game. And this game isn't meeting it, and Breath of the Wild just didn't meet it for me. Even though I really enjoyed it. It's just not... Once I beat it, that was it. I'm done with it. It's like Odyssey. Mario Odyssey, I actually hate that game. Like, I think it's the worst Mario game that's ever come out, in my opinion. For the type of gameplay that I like. Yeah, no worries. I'm gonna go back. I'm actually... Funny that you say how many times I go back and play. I'm actually like on... Because of all the Tears of the Kingdom hype, I'm on like a... I really want to go back and start playing Zelda again on the channel. And start again from like the SNES one and play through all of them again. I just haven't because I don't have enough time. I just don't have enough time. No, we win. I think the only dragon I killed was that one that doesn't get up, that had a bunch of baby dragons around it. I'm right here. That's not the one we're talking about, right? The one with all the babies is over here somewhere, right? Where is the dragon in this area? I have to ride through... It's through the lake in here? Like this lake? Oh yeah, I did? Okay. I guess I did. Yeah, Nikki, and I've heard it's big. Like, don't get me wrong. I've heard a lot of really good things about Tears of the Kingdom, and I think I'll enjoy the game. I'm just... Because Breath of the Wild was a game that, like, I was one and done, and, like, I don't have a lot of interest in playing it again. Like, even the DLC, I never bought the DLC. Because I didn't enjoy the game enough. It just wasn't worth me spending the extra money for a game I already didn't really enjoy for DLC for more of a game that I didn't really enjoy. So I didn't even pay for the DLC. So Tears of the Kingdom for me is just not a game that I'm interested in buying. I'll buy it mainly just to see why everybody thinks it's so good. And to say that I played it because I do like Zelda. But like, I'm not super worried about it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I don't remember where any of that is, Weewin. I'm really, like, when I don't take my ADHD meds, it really, really screws me up. I have zero clue what you're talking about, Weewin. I don't remember a tunnel. I don't remember an island in a lake. I don't remember any of it. It doesn't help that I haven't played this in a while, but, like, I have zero clue what's happening right now. Yeah, I have zero idea what's happening. In the game, I mean. I know what's happening in real life. I just... What the hell? Oh. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where I'm... It was on the map where my cursor was? You get it. Yeah, it's really frustrating when I miss my meds. I didn't mean to. Yeah, Nikki, that is one thing I've heard from everybody, is that it gets a lot more of the Zelda feel than the original did, than Breath of the Wild did, but it's still very much Breath of the Wild. And so, like, a lot of reviewers have said that if you're looking for classic Zelda and hoping Breath of the Wild went back to that mechanic, you're not going to be happy. But if you felt that Breath of the Wild was amazing, but you still miss the classic stuff, then you'll be happy. It's just if you wanted Breath of the Wild to be like, okay, we screwed up with, or Tears of the Kingdom to be like, we screwed up with Breath of the Wild, let's go back to the original Zelda stuff, you're going to hate this game because it's not going to do that for you. Like I said, I think I'll enjoy it. I just don't think it's going to be a game. It's like, oh my God, I can't remember what it's called. The one with Wolf Link. With Twilight Princess. Twilight Princess. It's like Twilight Princess. It was fine. I liked the game. In my opinion, Twilight Princess was the worst Zelda game that's ever come out. But it's just, I didn't like the Wolf Link part. The Wolf Link completely kills the momentum for me. And it's like this. It becomes very repetitive and boring for me. And so like I don't know what's happening, and then I get bored when you're looking for the stupid little bugs or whatever in Twilight Princess. And so like I had fun playing it, and comparing it to other video games, Twilight Princess is still much better than a lot of video games out there. But comparing it to other Zelda games, it's the worst one for me. And so I feel like Tears of the Kingdom will still be a middling game amongst all other Zelda games. So I'm not, if I'm going to be spending $100 on a video game, because it's like $94 here. If I'm going to spend $100 on a video game, I'm going to spend it on a game that I know I'm going to thoroughly enjoy, versus a game that I'm going to be like, okay, I got through it, I'll never touch it again. Yes, actually, Tyler. The weird part, so a Skyward Sword is objectively one of the most hated Zelda games, and objectively one of the worst Zelda games, because Nintendo tried to shoehorn all the motion mechanics into a game that didn't need them, with mechanics that didn't work very well. Because the Wii was not a good motion capture machine. The machine was very primitive when it came to motion capture for the controller. And the only reason it was as popular as it was because it was more accessible for old people, and for some fluky reason, old people were excited to buy it, and so everybody bought it. So Nintendo thought it was because everybody loved Nintendo as gamers, and it wasn't. It was just a weird fluke. But if it wasn't for that fluke, the Wii wasn't really that good at what it was supposed to do. Graphically it was delayed. The motion capture was bad. Even gameplay choice wasn't very good. A lot of shovelware on the Wii. And so when they released a Zelda game that relied heavily on that motion capture, it was really broken. So objectively, Skyward Sword was bad because of those issues for sure. And I can't defend those. And for me, when I say this next part, there's an asterisk to it. To me, Skyward Sword was the best Zelda game outside of Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time. And what made it not hold that for a lot of people was the specific motion controls. Because the storyline was actually really fun. It was really well done. Art-wise, I loved how they mixed the cell shading with like the realism. It was like a weird crossroads of the two. So it was a very beautiful looking game. I loved the different locations that you checked out and the way that the game played out. I thought it was super interesting. But the motion controls completely made it I can't think of the word. But it was not a game that anybody could really get into because they couldn't get past the motion controls because they were so broken. Had they released something like that with like the VR level of motion control, it'd be a little bit different, because at least then it is one-to-one and you have the ability to actually fight fairly. Whereas like with the way that the motion controls work on the Wii, there were a lot of times where like the moblins or whatever would be blocking up and down, and then you'd want to swing sideways, but as soon as you held your sword out sideways, they'd block sideways. So you'd want to do like a from the top and swing around into the side, but when you would do that, the Wii would only capture up and down, and so it would slice down even though I was doing back and forth. The motion controls just weren't good, and so that put a gate in front of how good the game could actually be. So the asterisk is, had there not been the motion control issue, that game would have been one of the best Zelda games. But outside of that, the only reason I was able to even experience that is because I streamed it, and the stream gave me an incentive to play through it, even though I was struggling at the beginning. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, the controls are what took everything away from that game. And objectively, bad controls will make a game bad. No matter how good the writing is, if the controls are bad, you're not going to be able to play the game and really get everything out of it. I just had that benefit of I stream, and so that almost forced me to play through the bad controls and get used to it for the most part. And it's really too bad, because the game, once I got to the end of the story, I was in awe of how great the game was. And I was really disappointed at how bad the gameplay was 21 Gaming Dude, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Welcome. Patrick, you are asking the wrong person. I'm going through a divorce right now. You're asking a very, very, very ill-prepared person for that. Couldn't give you any advice. But yeah, the Wolf Link stuff, it had the classic Zelda controls, so the controls were great. But like right now, I'm literally just wandering around. I'm not doing anything because I don't even know what time it is. It's 2:10. I've got 10 minutes left to stream. I'm not going to try to find anything to do. I'm just wandering around just to have something playing in the background while I'm talking. But the Wolf Link part is this in that game for me. I'm really into the story. I'm really enjoying what's happening. I've got all my powers. And then the game's like, nope, forget it. Everything you just did for the last hour is useless until you find a bunch of random bugs as a wolf while using your wolf sense, and everything's black, so you can't even enjoy the scenery. Enjoy this for the next 2 hours. Like that's what it turned into for me. And that made it so much worse. Because at least like if all the controls are bad, but I'm forced to play through it on stream, at least like the story is keeping me incentivized, and like I'm moving forward with like what I'm achieving, and it's still going forward despite the controls being in the way. But like enjoying, and then all of a sudden completely stopped and changed the gameplay completely, it became infuriating. And by the last time you're the Wolf Link, I hated the game. And so like in my opinion, for the way I like to play games, Twilight Princess is the worst Zelda game of all the Zelda games. And I had a really hard time with the SNES version of Zelda, only because that's hard. That game's hard. I just sucked at it. But I would rather play that game 10 times over than playing Twilight Princess. Like when I look back at, when I'm thinking now about going back to playing all the Zelda games again, the only thing that has me going, ugh, is Twilight Princess. The only game that has me saying, the only reason I don't want to say I'm going to play through all the Zelda games is I don't want to have to sit through Twilight Princess again. That's your person. Yeah. Yeah, and honestly, Patrick, if they broke up with you or you broke up with them or whatever, it was for a reason. And I'm not saying like, oh, you did something wrong, so you need to fix yourself. I'm saying like, it breakups shouldn't be seen ever as a normal part of a relationship. They're never part of a relationship that's normal, of a healthy relationship that's normal. It's normal to go through breakups as a person, and parts of relationships that we go through in our lives, breakups are normal. It's not a good thing in a relationship. If you are breaking up, it's because either you're incompatible, or you want things that they don't want, or they want things that you don't want, or they are not a good person. Like they might be breaking up with you because they met somebody better in their eyes. And that's just not, you might have a great relationship, but they found somebody that was, to them more enticing or sexier or funnier or whatever, or like some topical reason they broke up with you for that. That means they're not a good person. If a breakup happens, honestly, like the mature answer, and it's not the answer everybody wants to hear about, but it's the mature and healthy answer, is you move on. You get through the mourning period because you need to mourn. You can't just like, the rebounds aren't healthy, because you're going to bring in the pain from your last relationship into your new relationship, and that's not fair to the new person. But once you're past that kind of pain period, move on. That person doesn't deserve you. Or if you were the reason for the breakup, then you need to do some, self-healing, and the next person you date won't deserve whatever trauma you're dealing with if you don't face it. So like, you need to heal yourself before you move on. But that being said, going back to the original person that broke up with you, not a good choice ever. Like I said, I'm going through, a divorce right now. And like, I'm sad, and it hurts, and it's a big life change. It's not just a girlfriend. It's a person that, I lived with, and, we've been raising a little girl together, and, our lives have been together for 7 years. So of course it's sad and it hurts, but we are not meant to be together. And it's not, the universe, I'm not even talking about like spirituality or any of that stuff. It's just, it's very clear that it's not a healthy thing for us to be together. And so me spending energy on trying to like convince her to get back with me or to like stay with me or whatever, either I'm going to have to become somebody that I am not. And now you can genuinely change who you are if there are a lot of unhealthy things, but there are things about me that she doesn't like that are healthy things that she just doesn't like, and they're just who I am. So I would have to deny who I am, which is very unhealthy, and fake being somebody that I'm not, which eventually will fall apart and I will go back to being who I am. So in the end, we're going to end up back in the same spot. Or she is going to have to fake being happy with who I am. And in the end, she will end up in the same spot and we will still be unhealthy. And it could lead to the point where I end up cheating on her or she ends up cheating on me. And why? Right? I know it's not the answer you would want to hear because you're in love and you're hurting, but it's the legitimate healthy answer. Because 9 times out of 10, when a couple breaks up, and breaking up in the sense of like, not because somebody came and told them a rumor, or not because, you know, the family didn't allow them to be together, but like they broke up because the one of them wasn't happy, 9 times out of 10, they're going to break up again. Or they're going to be very, very unhealthy even if they don't break up again. They're going to be an incredibly unhealthy, toxic relationship, and it's not worth it. Gaming dude, been thinking about start streaming. I was just curious. No worries. You're very welcome. I've been streaming for about 6 years. Now, that being said, if you look at my numbers, they're not very good. In the sense of for somebody who's been streaming as long as I have, most people's initial reaction is, wow, you've been going for 6 years and you've got, I can only see Twitch and YouTube together. I can't see them separate, but 9 people watching me over there. I can't see TikTok's numbers. I've got 5 on TikTok. So 14 people, and a few of them are crossed over. So 14 on like the best estimate. After 6-7 years is not very good. So the reason, and I'm not using this as an excuse, it's just this is legit, like this is what has happened logistically. I stopped streaming for about a year. And I don't have a Discord, so I don't really have a community, and part of streaming is building a community. I also only usually stream for like an hour per stream, maybe 2 at maximum. So they're very short streams, and I only stream about 3 times a week. So it's very hard to build a community when you're not, you know, fostering like a Discord, when you're not streaming very often, when you're very, very, you know, far apart with your streams. None of that helps. So my numbers should and will be better when I start streaming more. But I've been doing it for about 6 years. Now, if you're going into streaming, the only advice I can give you is do not compare yourself to other streamers. Because, and I love this saying, and I've heard other people say it before I ever heard, like, I didn't come up with this. Other people said it. Don't compare your first step to my 500th step. A lot of new streamers look at my stream where I'm using like the fancy, you know, pod mic, and I'm using a Go XLR, and I've got a dual PC setup, and I've got fancy lights, and I've got a fancy camera. They look at all this and they go, this is what I need to stream, and you don't. So don't compare your stream to what I'm doing, because you don't need to start there. This is where I got to after having some success as a streamer, making some money as a streamer, and spending a lot of time streaming. You know, I've also got a full-time job, and so I have a little bit of free money to be able to spend on stuff like this. So don't ever compare yourself to other people like that. It's like my collection. I have a collection back there, but it's pretty crappy. If I look at somebody like Tyler, who has like a collection that I am super envious of, and think that I can't be a collector until I have all the stuff Tyler has, I will never be happy with my collection. But Tyler has a bunch of stuff and a different goal than what I have. So his collection is very different than what my collection would be. My collection, my NES stuff that I have I set the goal that I wanted to collect only the games that I played as a kid. I don't really care about all the other games that I never played. That doesn't mean that they're worthless. It's just, for me, that was my goal. It was very, very specific, but it limited how much I could grow. So don't compare yourself to other people, because you will never be happy. Make sure you stream for the fun of streaming, and don't beat yourself up for any failures as a streamer, because not everybody is meant to be a streamer, and that is okay. And don't ever force yourself to stream if it's really something you're not having fun with, because a lot of streamers have this idea that they want to be a famous streamer or like a full-time streamer as their job. and they have this idea of what it is to stream. Like, I want to play video games and people are going to come and watch me, and they don't know the background work that goes into streaming. Like, my stream setup right now, if I were to add everything together, it's easily 20 hours worth of work just to have the stream set up. 20 hours of work. 6 of those alone were to get the sound where I want it to be. And not even like the quality, just in being able to control the sound the way that I want. It took me 6 hours. And it's still not doing what I want. And I still have to spend another hour probably trying to get it to work. My lighting setup, I am constantly messing with my lighting setup. I've put in a good 10, 15 hours just messing with my lighting to get it to look the way that I want. There's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes to have a successful stream. A lot of people who get into streaming get into it thinking it's playing video games, and then they see all this extra work that they don't enjoy. They see all this extra stuff that they have to do and they don't do, and then their channel suffers for it. And then they become very depressed and stressed out, and they get down on themselves. They get toxic, whether with their community or just on their own, because they aren't willing to accept that streaming wasn't what they thought it was going to be. But they're not willing to walk away from streaming. And so it just leads to this like wormhole of negativity. And if you get there, you have to be willing to walk away. Because it's okay to not make it as a streamer, because not everybody can. And not everybody has what it takes. And not in the sense of like you're not talented or skilled or whatever. Mentally, they don't have what it takes to be a streamer. It's like being a musician or an actor. A lot of people are like, I wish I was an actor. When I was a kid, that was the big dream. Now it's I want to be a streamer or a YouTuber. But when I was a kid, I wanted to be an actor. That was like the big thing that everybody always said. But none of them wanted to spend, 4 or 5 times a week doing dance lessons just because they wanted to stay competitive. Not even for a show they were in, just for staying competitive. None of them wanted to deal with being told on a regular basis, you're too fat, you're too skinny, you're too ugly. Things that I've been told for years as an actor. And so, like, even though you really like the idea of being a movie star and being in movies with your favorite heroes and like being on screen and being in interviews and getting to be on the red carpet, you wouldn't like, I'm not saying you, but like other people wouldn't like all the other negative stuff that comes along with it. And so like they don't make it as an actor because they don't want to deal with that stuff. There's a difference now with streaming because it's so accessible that people think that everybody feels that way about the negative stuff of streaming. And so they feel like they just need to suck it up. And the truth is the people who really enjoy it don't feel those things. I don't mind sitting for 6 hours working on my sound. It frustrates me, but it only frustrates me because I run out of time. And so it's like, damn it, I have more things to do, but I gotta go. That's the part that frustrates me. But like to sit for 6 hours just fiddling with different settings to get the sound that I want is fun for me. So just be willing to walk away if it doesn't suit your mindset. That's the only advice I can really give you. Now you're on Twitch. To have 50 goals within 1 year, 50 subs within 1 year as a goal, it's doable. Don't hold your breath. It's very hard to get to that point. It's very hard to get to that point. I have, at this time, I'm going to stop streaming in a second, so I'm almost done. I have to get going in like a real soon second. I have 9 subs right now. 9. 8 people watching me on Twitch. I have 9 subs. At my peak, I had 34. At my peak where I was streaming like heavily. And I was, I had incentives for people to sub. I was doing a lot of content on TikTok. I was promoting myself all the time. I had a Discord I was active in. I had channel point redemptions. I had a bunch of stuff. And like 34, 35 subs was like my maximum. I reached past 50 once. And it was because it was my birthday and I did like a subathon where, I streamed longer the more subs that I got. And like 20 of the subs came from like 2 people. But it's doable. It's just very, very, very hard to do. And like I said, I've got 9. And I'm pretty sure like 6 of them are people who are resubbing without really thinking about it. Like it's automatically resubbing and they just haven't seen that it's happening. Because they probably sub to a lot of people and just don't realize they're subbing to me right now. So just be realistic with yourself. It's very easy to see somebody else be very successful and think that it's easy to do, and it's really not. And I'm not saying this to like deter you to not be a streamer. I'm just saying you need to have some realistic expectations, because when they hit you in the face, it can be very demoralizing. It can be very, very hard. Or you can meet those goals one month and the next month you lose it all. And that's what's happened to me in the past. When I was on YouTube, it wasn't unheard of for me to have 50 people watching me. And it was great. And I've got 8 right now. 8 on Twitch. And again, I'm not saying that I'm upset about it. Like, I'm not sitting there going, man, you know, I used to have 50, now nobody supports me. I'm fine with 8. I'm actually surprised it was 8. I thought it was like 4, and I thought it was like 4 on YouTube. You know, I've got 6 on TikTok. I'm fine with it in total. Even just TikTok and Twitch, that's 14 people. I'm happy with that. I'm really happy with that. The only downside to it is when I apply to, like, you know, sponsorships and stuff, they look at 1. Like, they look at YouTube or they look at Twitch. I can't be like, no, I was streaming and I had 6 on Twitch and, you know, 8 here and 5 there. And I was actually 25 people. They don't look at that. They look at like 1 number. Or they'll look at like each one, but individually they won't add them together. They'll be like, oh, you did 6 on YouTube and 5 on Twitch. But they don't look at the 11 as a total. They just look at 6 and 5. That part's frustrating. But like, it happens, and you need to have realistic expectations. It's not undoable. Like, it's not that it's impossible. It's just anybody with a computer or even with a phone nowadays can stream. And so the competition is very, very high, and it's very, very hard to make any kind of impact. And so, like, streaming for the enjoyment of it and stuff, great, awesome. Sharing that enjoyment with other people, great, awesome. Setting sub goals like that in like concurrently with the wanting to just have fun, probably not the best thing to do, because it's very quickly going to become something that you're going to start to hate and resent. Which is what I made sure that I did this time around, where like, I'm streaming for the fun of it. I know come summertime, I'm going to be pushing and have more of a goal with like actual numbers and stuff. But I also know that I'm expecting to do a set amount of work. But I've done this before, so I've learned about that stuff. But like, when I came back from streaming after a year off, it was literally just a goal of how long I was going to stream. That's it. Know how many people are going to watch me, know how many subs I'm going to get, know how many, you know, tips I'm going to get, donations, none of that stuff. It was literally, I'm going to stream for this long. That's it. Nothing else. And it has made my life so much less stressful, because I had a stream not too far in the past that was like 3 people total watched me. There was nobody on TikTok, there was nobody on YouTube, and there was like 3 people on Twitch. And it didn't bug me at all. The only pressure I felt was that I'm supposed to meet a certain quota because I work with Deep Silver. That's the only part that was like, oh, I wish I was a little bit higher because the quota. But outside of that, it didn't bug me. I've got a bunch of people right now, and it's not any more exciting than it was earlier. Gaming Dude, thank you for the sub. I appreciate that. You have YouTube open in the background? I appreciate that. Yeah, and that's the thing, right? The numbers aren't always right, because you have people opening different tabs and having different stuff open, so the numbers aren't even accurate anyway. So it's like, you have to be very, very humble in what you expect out of streaming, because honestly, you can do a lot of work and nothing comes from it. Or you can have a lot of, and this kind of goes back to what not Devin was saying. Hey Matt, how's it going, man? How are you? Not Devin was saying, I was asking, do I find myself as a successful streamer? Like, would I say I'm successful? So you can put a bunch of work in and nobody watches you, and it really sucks. You can also have a bunch of people watching you and feel like you haven't succeeded. It's all your own personal perspective, right? And you have to look at it you have to like step back when you're looking at these things, because it's also very hard to criticize yourself objectively. Like, I know one of my biggest issues is that I don't do well with socializing. So I don't have a Discord. I don't do well with comments, because when people get really toxic, it's very hard for me to be nice when I respond. And that doesn't help. It's also really, really hard for me to understand analytics. I suck at that. And that's a skill that I need to achieve. But I understand that. I also know that I'm not streaming very often. And I wish I could, but I'm not. So I know that there are things that I am doing wrong that I can change actively and make a better shot for myself. But it's also very hard for other people to understand what they're doing wrong. I've had people that have come in and asked me to check their channel out. I check it out live on stream. And then there's a bunch of stuff that they're objectively doing that is not helping their channel, and they will act like I am completely wrong in what I'm saying. Just recently, I made a TikTok about it, and she's blocked, so she's not going to see this unless one of her friends runs over and tells her, and she makes a big deal out of it again. Somebody made a video, a big streamer, talking about things that you shouldn't do as a streamer because it'll hurt your channel. One of the things they said is don't call out lurkers. You don't want to call out lurkers. And for those who don't know, lurkers are people that watch the stream and don't communicate, don't participate. They're just watching because they enjoy the content, but they don't want to talk for one reason or another. Anxiety, they're busy, whatever. You don't call out lurkers. That's just a given. It's an unwritten rule as a streamer. And this person commented, like, I think it's stupid because if they're lurking, they're not supporting you. And if they're not supporting you, that's just weird. That was a really toxic mindset because a lurker is supporting you by watching. That's an important part of streaming. And so this creator called them out. Then the person acted like a victim. I commented on one of their videos where they said this creator attacked them, which they didn't do. The creator made a blanket statement, and this person injected themselves into that statement. She contradicted what the person had to say, and now they're the victim all of a sudden. So I commented, I was like, they didn't attack you. Like, they called you entitled, and you're being entitled, thinking that you deserve, like, you're so special that anybody who watches you has to talk to you, and that's entitled. That's not how streaming works. Then all of a sudden they took it like I was attacking them. And it's like, no, you're objectively doing something that is toxic in your community, and it's going to hurt you. But she was so into her own feelings, she wasn't willing to understand that she was in the wrong. And then she tried to turn it around like I didn't know what I was talking about, that I needed to educate myself, made a bunch of videos about me. I think it was like 4 videos about me, telling me that, you know, I need to read the room and realize that I'm in the wrong and that I don't know everything. Even to the point where she like linked me to a video where she said a bunch of stuff about Twitch that was wrong, like factually wrong about how Twitch works. And then like even said that, you know, I think I know everything, but like even partnered streamers have said what she said in her video. But Twitch has said that that is wrong. So it doesn't matter who said it. The company said it was wrong, but she wasn't willing to admit that she was ignorant in everything that she was talking about. So sometimes as a creator, it's really hard to accept that you are wrong about something. And so you have to have the ability to kind of step back and objectively realize you're doing something wrong. And if people aren't watching you, it's probably because you're doing something wrong. And it doesn't have to be something toxic. It could just be something as simple as like your microphone sounds like crap, so nobody wants to watch you because your microphone sounds bad. And so you have to be willing to kind of look at yourself that way. And it takes a while to kind of allow yourself to do that. So I would say definitely go for fun and to share your fun with people and set goals for yourself for things you want to achieve, but set things that you can control. You know, how long you're going to be streaming, the type of content you're going to create. Maybe you're going to sit down every day before a stream for an hour and write out what you're going to do in your stream, special things you're going to do for your stream. Those things that you can control. You can't control how many subs are going to come to you. You can't control how many concurrent viewers you're going to have. There are times where I'm streaming, there's over 100 people watching me, and I have no idea what I'm doing differently, but it just happened to work. I can't set that goal because I'm going to beat myself up for a goal that I didn't achieve, but it was a goal that I could never achieve on my own. It would be reliant on a bunch of other factors that are out of my control. So set goals for things you can control and have fun doing it for you, but don't set goals for subs. You know, there are daily goals you can set. Like I've got one that says 5 subs for the day, but it's just there as like, hey, sometimes we get really close and that like maybe 1 extra sub will get us there, and saying, hey, I'm only looking for 5 and we're at 4. That kind of gives people a reason to kind of give the extra sub. But I don't have a goal for like the month. And if I don't reach that goal, it doesn't matter because I don't have it. But if I had that goal, I'd feel pretty bummed out if I reached it for 2 months and then the 3rd month I didn't reach it, right? So just definitely be weary about the sub goal and the goals you set for yourself. And back to not Devin, just a quick answer for your question. I'm successful in my eyes because I'm doing what I wanted to do as a streamer. Am I successful as in like this is a career and something that I would call my job? No, of course not. But I'm doing everything that I wanted to do as a streamer, and I'm achieving everything that I set out to achieve as a streamer. And now the next step is in the summer where I will set bigger goals, and then I'll see what I am. But I am streaming to, you know, even 14 people at the maximum. That is a lot higher than 99% of people on Twitch are doing. That is a bigger audience than at least 80% of Twitch or all streamers are doing, because most streamers are streaming to 1 or 2 people. So the fact that I've even got 5 people on one platform already has made me more successful than a lot of the streamers out there. So it's just all perspective, you know? It's all perspective. Exactly, Night Owl. Anything that you have to rely on other people for are not good metrics to set goals for. Not at all. Because you will never know what is going to be happening outside of your control with those people. So be very careful with that. Set things that you can control, and that's exactly it. And it was like me. My goal for today was to start an hour early and stream for that extra hour. And I achieved it. I'm a little bit late to get my daughter now. But yeah. Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate that. Yeah, and like it's what are you doing, step bro? Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, and it's and you're very welcome about the longer stream. Yeah, and and today is a good day. There are a lot of streams, more often than not, that I'm streaming to less than 5 people combined on everything. So like that's pretty bad when it's like 1 on Twitch and 1 on YouTube and 3 on TikTok. Like those aren't good numbers. It's the average of every other streamer. Today's a good day. But I'm not going to beat myself up when I inevitably get to that number again, maybe tomorrow. Who knows? It all changes, right? And then there's a lot of stuff that's out of my control that I can't change that would help those numbers be higher. But I'm not going to beat myself up for that. And I think a lot of streamers need to learn that as new streamers. But you're not really going to learn it until you're in those shoes. And I can say it until I'm blue in the face, but 99.9% of us are not going to listen to it because there are things that more advanced streamers than me are saying that I'm still not listening to. And objectively, I know that I should be listening to them, but my own feels get in the way and then I don't listen to them, or I get lazy and I don't listen to them. And it would probably pay off if I did. TikTok can't see it. TikTok can't see it. Hold on, TikTok, real quick. Real quick. Yeah. I don't know what happened. Everything crashed. Oh wait, I'm back. I don't know. My GoXLR froze, then it unfroze, and now it's unfrozen again. I don't know. GoXLR is being really weird. Anyways, I got to get out of here. I got to go pick up Nora. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. I'll be here again tomorrow. I can't promise I'll start early again. I'm going to try to. I'll see if I go to bed early. We'll see how I feel. The meds are really kicking my butt, so I might want to sleep early. But if I'm up early enough, I'll start early tomorrow. If not, I'll start at the regular time. And then we'll stream and play some video games and do what we need to do. I don't know if I'm going to do Elden Ring. Maybe I'll do some more Dead Island tomorrow. I don't know. I'm so not even like worried about anything. I'll just play whatever I feel like. All right, everybody. I'll see you later. Take care. Have yourselves a good day. TikTok. Where's TikTok? There we go. TikTok. See you later. Bye-bye. And then Twitch, YouTube. Thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it. I will see you tomorrow. Have yourselves a really, really good day. And yeah, I'll see you for some Dead Island or something. All right.